It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon at the University of Puget Sound down in Tacoma. Angus Trangmo, Kyle Sweeney joining you on the Fish Sticks Network as the DubSea Fish Sticks prepare for a PIL clash with the league-leading Seattle Cheney Studs. And Kyle, last night it was looking pretty bleak for the Fish Sticks, but they hang 5 runs in the 8th and beat the Northwest Honkers 7-6.
Yeah, it was 6-2 going into the bottom of the 8th inning. They were in danger of dropping their 5th game in their last 6 games, which would have been detrimental going down the stretch of the season, especially in PIL play. But they come out with the victory. It was a thrilling game on Dick's drive-in night at the Friar, but now a very quick turnaround against such a good team in the Studs.
Yeah, the Studs are, simply put, the best team in the league to this point. 26-9 on the season, 15-4 in PIL play. They are coming off a loss to the Seattle Blackfins, and the Fish Sticks have kind of had the Studs number this year. They're 2-1 against Seattle Cheney this season.
Yeah, and that includes a thrilling comeback victory just about a week and a half ago against this team at the Friar. They took that game 9-8. It was Rodrigo Montano who was the hero in the bottom of the 8th inning. That was a comeback where the Studs had the game the whole way. They were up 7-0 going into the bottom of the 7th inning. So the comeback yesterday kind of looks a lot like that comeback against the Studs. And as you mentioned, the Fish Sticks have taken 2 of 3 against the Studs this year. They're 2 of their 4 PIL losses this season, and they need this one right now. They need to stay alive in the race with the win tonight.
Fish Sticks looking to take the season series against the Seattle Studs. First pitch on the Fish Sticks Network is around the corner.
For over 15 years, As You Wish Electric has offered the comprehensive electrical solutions Seattle families trust. We are proud to announce that we can now also serve your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. As we grow, we are committed to delivering the same knowledgeable and friendly experience that earned our spot as the region's top-rated electrical company. Contact As You Wish Electric Plumbing, Heating, and Air today to learn more.
Down in Tacoma, we are live from the University of Puget Sound as the Fish Sticks get set to take on the Studs. Connection in Tacoma, in a word, not great.
No.
So we might have a spotty feed for you. We will try to keep the video up as much as we can today, but if you see the graphic go up, don't be shocked. It's just not a great feed that we're going to have today the whole way through, but the Fish Sticks, a great win last night over the Honkers, and the Studs, a great baseball team as well in the lead in the PIL. Lineup for the Sticks today, Ian Draper leading off, followed by Cade Galen in the 2-hole. Then Rylan Gullard out in center field hitting 3rd. We saw him in the 5-hole yesterday after leading off for so long this summer. Then Evan Hellner in the cleanup spot, Braden Bartholomew and Riley Sonoy 5 and 6. And then Jake Daly is DHing in the 7-hole. Becca Turnbow hitting 8th and Alex Hamada hitting 9th. And they'll be facing off against Dolan Wynn. This is an arm that we haven't seen for the Studs yet this summer. Vaden Lawrence, I think we're both very happy that he's not starting this game.
Yeah, he was the pitcher last time out. He went 5 scoreless innings with 9 strikeouts. Again, this was a game that happened last Thursday about a week and a half ago. The Fish Sticks made a crazy comeback in the bottom of the 7th inning in that one to win 9-8, but that game was all Studs up until that point. So this is an arm that they haven't seen this summer, which is rare considering that this is the 4th meeting between these two teams.
First pitch is on the way to Draper, and it curls in for strike 1. Draper, a big 2-run homer in that 5-run 8th yesterday that lifted the Fish Sticks to a 1-run win over the Northwest Honkers. And, when he goes after that, and it's fouled into the Studs dugout for strike 2.
Yeah, it's Draper's 2nd 2-run home run of the season for the Fish Sticks, and he joined the team earlier this month. So it's pretty incredible the start that he has had for the Fish Sticks, obviously the season winding down.
0-2, and that's upstairs from Dolan Wynn for ball 1. First ball we've seen from Dolan, and first we've seen of Dolan Wynn all summer. A few familiar faces available out of the bullpen for the Studs today. P.J. Moritz, Robert Lutz, George Gatsinaris, to name a few, as Draper lines that foul. Really nice play over at third by Jeremiah Crane, but a foul ball nonetheless. Draper, Galen, Gullard due up. Galen, someone we haven't seen the top of the lineup too often this summer, but starting to swing the bat so much better recently and gets noticed. He's in the 2-hole today. He's on deck right now. Draper fouls that back. Would have hit our camera. if there wasn't a net.
Yeah, a couple off-speed pitches to start off this at-bat against Draper from Wynn. So might be relying on that off-speed, which is not something that the Fish Sticks have seen in at least this week. They've seen a lot of fastball-heavy pitchers.
Draper, that's into left field. This is where he went yard yesterday. That's a long ride, but it's hauled in just short of the fence by Bradley Carl. Carl, a do-it-all guy for the Studs, hitting second in the lineup today. Probably one of the contenders on a short list for PIL MVP this summer.
Yeah, definitely. Went 2 for 5 at the plate. Last time these two teams met, he has just had a phenomenal season. He's been sitting above 400 on the year at the dish, and we've seen him DH a couple of times and shows off the glove there in left field, and that one was hit well into the gap. So nicely done by Carl to ring in the first out.
Galen goes after the first pitch, and he fouls it away for strike one. Rylan Gullard is on deck in the 3-hole. We saw him leading off for so long, then hit fifth yesterday. A 2-for-4 game ended up being the stick of the game, or excuse me, the deluxe of the game on Dick's drive-in night, when the Deluxes pulled off another improbable comeback. They were down 4 in the 8th inning, ended up coming back and winning 7-6. Counts 1-1 to Cade Galen, and another foul off. We've seen quite a few foul balls from the Sticks already today.
Yeah, and Galen went deep at bats and pinch hitting in that game, and he's really been swinging the bat so well as of late. He was 0 for 1 in that game yesterday, but a couple of crucial at bats that really forced the relievers to go long and helped them in the long run as he takes a look at a ball out and away. But just kind of a symptom of seeing the ball so much better like Cade Galen has recently. He was going into yesterday's game, he had 4 hits in his last 3 games, and that translates to better plate discipline at the dish, and you go deeper at bats, and it gives you more opportunities to stay hot.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Galen, hot shot through the right side of the infield. First hit of the day for the Fish Sticks, and another hit for Cade Galen this week. That'll bring up Rylan Gullard with 1 on and 1 out.
Yeah, it's been Galen's MO the past week or so. He's just been seeing the ball so much better. Line drives pretty much any direction. We saw a double from him a couple of days ago against the Redmond Dudes the opposite way. He's been taking it up the middle, and that time goes to the right side, just past the sliding Jacob Copeland at first. So speed at first base now.
First pitch to Gullard, catches the inside third for strike one. Again, 2 for 4 day for Gullard yesterday. Came around to score the winning run in that 8th inning off an error by Luke Altum. A 1 gets by. That'll be an easy one for Cade Galen. He's on to second. And a runner in scoring position for the Fish Sticks. Galen thought about going to third right there, but he'll stick around at second.
Yeah, I would have expected Galen to take off regardless, but that's just a free bag. And for someone like Rylan Gullard, who we've seen so many times at the leadoff spot, putting a runner in scoring position for him is a really good sign for the Fish Sticks early in this one, especially against a team like the Studs. They need to jump out early.
No one covering the bag over at second with Galen, and that's a really nice pitch, maybe a gift as well for Dolan Wynn right there. Strike 2. He's gone inside twice on Gullard, and it's turned into 2 looking strikes. Count is 1-2. Dolan Wynn likes to take his time. I think that's something we've started to notice already in this game, as opposed to Dylan Vele from the Hawkers, who we saw last night, who can work so quick. Vaden Lawrence from this same Studs team is the same way.
That was a nice stop on that ball on the turf by Joel Fernandez behind the plate to keep Galen at second base with 1 out. That 90 feet from second to third brings it in the sac fly, brings in the RBI ground out, so that was a huge block behind the plate.
Gullard hitting .324 on the summer. Just a really good start for him, and he's got another hit right there. Maybe hit too hard. Galen's going to stick around at third base, so no run score. Another hit for Rylan Gullard. That's 3 straight ABs with a base hit for the Linfield Wildcat, or the one-time Linfield Wildcat. And now runners on the corners, 1 down, and the cleanup hitter, Evan Hellner, coming to the dish.
Yeah, Hellner ripped a single in his only at-bat, pinch hitting yesterday, and it was in a high-leverage situation, too. It was in that 8th inning where all the runs came across for the Sticks. So looking to continue that, Rylan Gullard did just that. And now first and third with Gullard at first base. I would more than expect him to take off here.
Gullard does just that. Nice field. It's not going to be two. Copeland's got to go to first. Hellner retired, but Galen scores, and the Fish Sticks are on the board first in Tacoma. RBI ground out for Evan Hellner, and it's 1-0 DubSea.
Yeah, balls have been ripped over to Jacob Copeland's direction over at first base, and that one was another hard-hit ball by Evan Hellner. That's what he's been doing all summer, and he did a great job to just knock it down. It would have been an ending double play had he had made that phenomenal play going to second base, but he just flips it over to first. But will be an RBI groundout. It's 1-0 here in the first.
Big lead for Gullard as Braden Bartholomew chases down low for strike one. Bartholomew also drove in a run in that fateful 8th inning last night with a sac fly to got the Hawkers lead to 1. Leads the team in runs batted in with 25 on the summer. That's into center field. Shallow at that, and it gets down. It's off the glove of Ringrose. Gullard comes around to score. Braden Bartholomew drives in yet another run for the Fish Sticks this summer. An early 2-0 lead for the Sticks.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that'll go down as a hit or an error, but I think Ringrose is going to want that one back at second base. He almost tried to make a Willie Mays-like catch out there in shallow right field, just with the glove behind him and trying to make like a wide receiver catch and couldn't get it down. So a couple of errors in the last couple of plays, and that's led to 2 runs.
Now Riley Sonoy goes after the first pitch. That's into left field and an easy play for Bradley Carl. But 2 runs score for the Fish Sticks in the first frame, and they've got an early 2-0 lead on the Seattle Studs. First chance for the Studs at the plate on the other side of the break on the Fish Sticks Network.
You ever wonder how Crispy gets to the fryer for games? He uses King County Metro's Rapid Ride H-Line. King County Metro, the official commute of your DubSea Fish Sticks.
Once upon a home in the Issaquah Highlands, the Parkers used Thumbtack for a new kitchen island. Now the pizza is cooking and the kids are excited. Thank goodness for Thumbtack and all it provided. Start your home story on Thumbtack.
2-0 Fish Sticks leading the Studs heading into bottom of the first. We, as a booth here on the Fish Sticks Network, have made the executive decision to retire our camera for the night. If you watch that top of the first inning, it was not good. It was a pretty bad feed, actually. And we've made radio broadcast work, or purely radio broadcast work, before. And that's what we'll have to do today. 2-0 Fish Sticks heading into the bottom of the first. And a couple really nice pieces of hitting from Cade Galen, Rylan Gullard, and then Braden Bartholomew brings home a run with a hit of his own.
Yeah, now Cole Nupfer gets to the mound already with the 2-0 advantage. And Nupfer, we saw him on Tuesday against Port Angeles throw some shutdown work against the Port Angeles lefties and a WCL opponent on the road. So really efficient outing his last time. This will be his 4th start and 9th overall appearance. He's thrown 15 2/3 innings and has struck out 19 batters. His ERA is down to 3.45 on the summer. So an opportunity again against a really good team in the Studs, but with run support, we'll see if he can make it work.
First pitch swinging for Dante Grant. That is a can of corn out to Rylan Gullard in center field. 1 pitch, 1 out for Nupfer. Really good outing in Port Angeles for him earlier in the week, and even with the lefties being a West Coast League team and the Studs being a PIL team, you could definitely make the argument, and it might just be clear as day, that this Studs lineup is just better.
It definitely is, and that's a huge first out on Dante Grant, who killed the Fish Sticks last Thursday with 2 doubles.
Nupfer slings in a fastball for strike 1 to Bradley Carl. Carl, the hard hit rate is insane for him and putting together quite the summer for the Studs. 0-1 is down low. This is the last home game for the Studs this summer and the last PIL game for the Studs as well. They head to Wichita for the NBC World Series. right after this. So their last game at UPS in 2026, and that catches a piece of Bradley Carl. He gets on base as the first base runner of the day for the Studs.
Yeah, that fastball kind of just tailed away from Cole Knupfer on the inside part of the zone and hit Bradley Carl late. He didn't even try to get out of the way. Again, he could have just been meaning to wear that one, but I just don't think he expected it to curl back in that direction. He's taken now a healthy lead over at first base against the lefty Knupfer.
We saw the Honkers steal quite a few bases last night, and the Studs know this Fish Sticks team well. Sticks have struggled to hold runners on all summer as first pitch to Jeremiah Crane is outside for ball 1. Knupfer comes set. Again, a big lead for Carl at first, and that's popped up by Crane into foul territory. Braden Bartholomew calls everybody off, and he hauls it in foul ground for out number 2. So efficient work for Knupfer. Still gave up a base runner, but he's through 2 outs against a really dangerous Studs top of the lineup, and he's only needed 6 pitches to do it.
Yeah, and again, Bradley Carl's at first because he got hit by a pitch. So right now, Knupfer just has to trust his stuff, and this is a really tough out right now in Kai Halstead in the DH spot hitting cleanup. A clean first inning would be huge.
First pitch strike into Kai Halstead, wearing number 26 today. Usually we see him wearing number 24. Studs in the baby blue jerseys. We've got blue on blue here in Tacoma. Not going to see a lot of blue on blue at the University of Puget Sound, which is straight maroon. Knupfer checks on Carl. It's definitely interesting that Carl's got such a big lead with Knupfer being a lefty.
Yeah, he got back pretty easily there. He's just a smart player and can kind of pick out when Knupfer is going to go pick off at him at first.
Nice cover by Hellner as Knupfer misses way outside for ball 1 to Halstead. I've seen Halstead have some really nice games against the Fish Sticks this summer in the cleanup spot, which is where he's made his killing for the Studs all year. 1-1, that's popped up into right field. Long run for Riley Sonoy. He loses his hat, but finds the ball in the process. Cole Knupfer, a really nice first inning of work, and the Fish Sticks lead 2-0 through 1. I mean, that's an ideal start for DubSea.
It really is, and they capitalized on a couple of errors in the first inning. They might not go down as errors in the box score, but they were errors in the field by the Studs, and Knupfer goes shut down after hitting Bradley Carl in the second at-bat. So phenomenal start after this team really got off to a slow start against the Studs last week. Again, they made a miraculous comeback to eventually win that game, but this is looking much better for a team that needs momentum going into the end of this season.
So 2-0 Fish Sticks. They won the first meeting between these two squads here in Tacoma 7-1. It seems like ages ago just with the stretch that the Fish Sticks have been on in the past few weeks, but that was only about a month ago, and the Fish Sticks still the only team in the PIL to lead the season series against the Studs. The Studs are 15-4 in PIL play. Currently have a 3-game lead over the Seattle Blackfins and 5 in front of the Fish Sticks.
Yeah, and the Fish Sticks, if they lose this game, they are out of PIL contention after winning the league last season. And this was a team, again, going into yesterday's game that had lost 4 of their last 5 games before making that miraculous comeback. And this is their 19th game in 22 days. They had a stretch of 14 in 15 days at some point last week, and they're a little tired. They're a little exhausted. That is a tough stretch, especially with all the travel on the road that this team has had to do. So 3 days off after this one. If they could go into that break with a win, especially over a team like the Studs, that would be so helpful for this team going down the stretch of the season.
Jake Daly to lead off the top of the second. Daly, Turnbow, Hamada at the bottom of the lineup due up. And Daly goes after the first pitch. It's grounded over to Gage Thompson. It's short. Throw gets away, and Copeland doesn't apply the tag in time. Daly is safe. Should go down as a throwing error. Copeland doesn't like the call, and I think he's got a case. He's saying that he applied the tag to Jake Daly before he got to first base. A really close play over there at first.
This would be now the 3rd mistake by the infield for the Studs if this one holds up.
really close play and obviously no review in the PIL, but it appeared, at least from the press box, that Copeland was able to apply the tag in time. Daly, for the time being, is safe on a throwing error by Gage Thompson, and if this call holds, a throwing error from Thompson is very interesting given how good of a fielder he is. And Daly is out.
I think that is the right call. And I'm glad that the umpires convened in the infield because Copeland over at first base was adamant that he applied the tag.
So now Mark Lynn, head coach for the Fish Sticks, will go have a chat about that call getting overturned. 2-0 Fish Sticks and 1 out in the top of the second inning. It was an odd top of the first where the Fish Sticks were able to put together a couple hits, and then an RBI ground out from Evan Hellner brought home the first run of the game. For Braden Bartholomew, kind of just blooped one into right center that Tristan Ringrose couldn't make a play on. And 2-0 Sticks. Now Beckett Turnbow comes up. Turnbow launched one out of the fryer last night. Kind of gave the DubSea Deluxes a spark on the offensive side of the ball. Turnbow almost checked a swing right there, but he didn't go around, and it's ball 1 low.
That was another curveball from Wynn that dove outside. Turnbow loves to jump on fastballs.
Another ball to Turnbow, counts 2-0. Dolan Wynn, a couple earned runs in that first inning. And he's behind 3-0 on Beckett Turnbow right here.
Yeah, take sign all the way for Turnbow, especially with how hot he has been recently. There's just no reason to swing at this pitch. He hasn't seen one close to the zone. That one, again, is outside, so he will take his base. And leadoff base runners is just something that the Fish Sticks didn't have yesterday until the 8th inning. And so it's crucial that they start to give themselves a little breathing room early in innings. And now with Hamada up to the dish, it's pretty close back to the top half of the lineup that had so much success in the first inning.
Hamada starting to pay rent in the 9-hole in this lineup. Playing second base today, he goes after the first pitch, and it's popped foul into the parking lot here at Lager Ballpark for strike 1.
Turnbow's got a good amount of speed over there at first base, and he's 5 for 6, on stolen base attempts this season. So a lot of success on the base paths.
Infield in for the Studs. 1-0 popped up again and foul once again. Hamada quickly behind, no balls and 2 strikes. 2-0 Sticks here in the top of the second. Beckett Turnbow on first, 1 away. And Ian Draper in the leadoff spot. In the on-deck circle right now, Alex Hamada looking to stay alive in an 0-2 count against Dolan Wynn, and that's way out. 4-1.
Yeah, Draper had a deep fly out to left field his first time up, and a lot of line drives, a lot of hard hit balls by the top half of this lineup in the first inning. So if Hamada can get on safely with 1 gone, that would be very advantageous for the Fish Sticks.
Turnbow goes, or no, he doesn't. Hamada pops it up into right field, and it stays in fair territory, and it turns into the second out of the inning. It looked like Turnbow was going to go, then Hamada flew it into right field. Turnbow instantly came back to first, and Hamada is retired. That'll bring up Ian Draper in a 2-out situation.
Well, both of his home runs this season have been 2-run shots, and as I said, the last time he came up, he joined this team this week, and his first game was on Tuesday against Port Angeles, where he's 2 for 2 with the 2-run bomb and reached base all 5 times.
Loves that pull side over to the left field. Second baseman Tristan Ringrose shifted a little bit that direction. Big gap to the opposite field infield for the righty Draper. And he takes that pull side a little too pulled as it's fouled on the third base line. That was hit hard, though.
It was another off speed from Wynn that he used so often in that first at-bat. It was a deep count for Wynn against Draper back in the top of the first inning, and eventually Wynn would win the battle, per se, in a deep flyout. But Draper's seen that off-speed now multiple times.
1-1. There is the off-speed, and he's early on it again. Not great contact, but it bounces foul for strike 2. It was in a 2-strike count where Draper flew one into left field in the first inning to lead off this game out to Bradley Carl. Still surprised to see Turnbow hasn't really had a true steal attempt of second base after reaching on a 4-pitch walk. 1-2, shot at the middle, but a really nice shift to Ringrose. Bobbles it, and Draper beats the throw to first. Man, after this inning started with a rough call that was eventually overturned, I think that's another missed one going in favor of the Fish Sticks, but Draper is safe, runner in scoring position for DubSea, and that brings up Cade Galen, who's already got a base hit in this game. Draper catches a break, and I think he earned one from last night when he was called out on a double play where he beat the ball to first base by about a step and a half.
Yeah, and everything went wrong there for Tristan Ringrose at second base. The ball was lined, and then it was right in front of the umpire who had to dive out of the way last second as Galen takes a look at strike 1, and then he saw the ball so late because of the umpire's positioning, and he knocked it down really well and then fired over to first, and it looks like he beat Draper by about half a step before he's called safe. So luck not in the direction of the Studs at the moment.
Galen behind 0-2. That's a nice pitch breaking away from the lefty Galen. From the righty, Dolan Wynn. Count is 0-2. Fish Sticks plated 2 in the first inning, looking for more here in the second with runners on second and first and 2 down. And the Sticks ahead 2-0 on the Studs. 0-2 coming to Cade Galen. It's a really nice watch outside for ball 1.
Yeah, that one was outside for sure. The Studs wanted that pitch, but it looks like almost a two-seam fastball or a changeup that Wynn has in that arsenal that tails away from him almost like a screwball a little bit, and that one just tailed away on the outside part of the plate for Galen.
Thompson covering Turnbow over at second base. Turnbow can fly, so a base hit would likely score him. Another 1-2. Galen chases that one down and in for strike 3. So Dolan wins, strands 2 for the Sticks. Fish Sticks still lead 2-0 over the Studs heading into the bottom of the second on the Fish Sticks Network.
Wendy's went back to the kitchen to give our famous spicy chicken sandwich a total upgrade. More crunch, more flavor, with heat that just hits. Is this our best spicy chicken ever? Looks like a yes to me. Spicy chicken just got better at Wendy's.
They always say, think happy thoughts. It's easy when you're a Wendy's Cookie Dough Frosty Fusion. I'm an instant dopamine hit. Get it? Dopamine? Like cookie dough. I said like cookie dough! Happiness is a Cookie Dough Frosty Fusion at Wendy's.
Oh, Audrey, look over there.
Where? Oh, a whole herd of reindeer beers.
Not herds, Audrey. Rainier's come in 6-packs.
Oh,
Wake up, Harley.
Harley, look at the reindeers. Oh, they're just so fresh and friendly.
2-0 Sticks heading into the bottom of the second. Angus Trengmo and Kyle Sweeney coming to you from the press box at Logger Ballpark in Tacoma. And again, unfortunately, we will not have a video stream for this road game. It was just not cutting it here in Tacoma. So we're all radio today. And Cole Nupfer comes out for the second inning. A really good first inning from him.
Yeah, just 9 pitches to get through the first, and that includes a hit by pitch of Bradley Carl, and then 3 pop-outs got the job done. Really weak contact all the way through. So continuing on from his great start on Tuesday against the Port Angeles lefties and looking to continue that in the second inning. And you can't give up or let up at any point in the Studs lineup. There's a reason they're 26-9 this year, and it's because they have such a deep order.
Gage Thompson, Jackson Copeland, and Tristan Ringrose due up for the Studs. First pitch from Nupfer, just a bit outside ball 1. Nupfer the lefty against the righty Gage Thompson. Not a lot of lefty starters for the Fish Sticks this year. Nupfer, kind of an outlier in a pretty righty-heavy pitching staff as he's behind on Thompson, 2 balls, no strikes.
Yeah, Nupfer went 4 innings. That was the deepest he's gone this season on Tuesday. So that might be the leash for him, but it looked like he might have been able to go into the 5th inning of that one before head coach Mark Lynn went to the bullpen.
That's way out for ball 3, so Gage Thompson way ahead. Still looking for the first hit are the Studs on the afternoon. Bradley Carl did reach on a hit by pitch, and Nupfer 19K Port Angeles outing that made it so good. He was really clean back on Tuesday, and that's a walk of Gage Thompson on 4 pitches to start the bottom of the 2nd inning.
Yeah, and Thompson has struggled this season from the dish. He's consistently been hitting under 150, so would have been good for Nupfer to just pound the zone as he's been doing over his last couple of outings, but now that'll bring up Copeland, and a ground ball here would be great to get Nupfer back into a good mindset.
Jackson Copeland watches strike 1, so a good bounce back for a first pitch strike on Copeland, who's playing first base today. Serious pot from Jackson Copeland. Has over half of this team's home runs all year. Has 3 in the team. Has 5 overall. Nupfer, that is painted on the outside corner for strike 2.
Yeah, it's a really good pitch. That 2-seamer almost is tailing the opposite way of the righty Jackson Copeland, and it just ticks that outside part of the zone. So great comeback after a 4-pitch walk to be ahead 0-2.
Very small lead for Gage Thompson over at first. Nupfer ahead 0-2 on Copeland, and that's outside for ball 1. Maybe just tried to do a little too much with that fastball. 2-0 Fish Sticks leading here in the bottom of the 2nd inning in Tacoma. Studs 15-4 in PIL play. Again, this is their last PIL game of the season, so looking to leave the league on a high note as Copeland fouls that back, and it would take a fiery comeback from either the Seattle Blackfins or an incredible comeback from the DubSea Fish Sticks to surpass this team at the top of the PIL standings.
Yeah, and the Studs have earned it all year long. And again, 2 of those 4 losses are to the Fish Sticks. So the Fish Sticks looking to stay alive in that race with a win tonight.
Nupfer wanted it for strike 3. That was a similar pitch to what was called strike 2, but it's just outside on the inside edge of the left-hand batter's box for ball 2. Counts even to Jackson Copeland with Tristan Ringrose on deck and Gage Thompson over on first. Nobody gone in the 2nd for the Studs. 2-2. It's fouled back once again by Copeland. This is turning into a battle right here between Nupfer and Copeland.
Yeah, it's 3 foul balls in this at-bat. And after he didn't like the call when he went behind 0-2 on a fastball on the outside of the plate, Nupfer's been attacking that part of the zone, and Copeland's done well of fighting it off.
Another 2-2 on the way, and that's outside. Hellner all over it. Up and out for ball 3, so full count to Copeland.
Yeah, 4-pitch walk in the last at-bat, and then went ahead 0-2, and now Copeland's battled back to force a full count.
Payoff pitch on the way from Nupfer. Fastball driven into left center. It's going to find the gap. Hard turnaround second for Thompson as that one rolls right up to the fence. Gullard fields it. Thompson turns around third, and the Seattle Studs on the board. RBI double for Jackson Copeland on a huge battle at the plate. And the Studs cut into the Fish Sticks lead. It's now 2-1 DubSea.
Yeah, just a insanely good at-bat from Copeland. Battling back from 0-2, 3 foul balls, forces a full count. It forces Nupfer, instead of trying to paint the corner for a strikeout, to instead just throw a zone finder after 3 straight balls. And Copeland sees the fastball well and drills it out to left center field, and Thompson got a great jump on that from first. So the Studs now within a run here in the bottom of the 2nd.
And still nobody out as well as the infield comes in for Tristan Ringrose in the 7-hole today. He shows bunt, lays it down. It's really nice. It looks like it hit Ringrose on the way out. Maybe that's why it sat up so nicely in front of home plate. He'll have to come back on a foul ball, strike 1. Maybe it bounced on the other side of the plate as well.
Trying to get Copeland at second base over to third with just one gone to try to put the sac fly or the RBI ground out in play.
We're on second, nobody out. Copeland scores that would tie this game in the early stages. 2-1 Fish Sticks right now in the bottom of the second. Ringrose showing bunt again. He pulls back and it's low from Nutfer for ball one. Ringrose made an error out in the field in the top half of the inning that allowed Ian Draper to reach base. Usually a trusty glove in the middle infield with Cohen Sunick, who's not playing today. Gage Thompson takes his spot at short. Now Ringrose lays it down in fair territory. It's covered by Nutfer. He'll have to go to first. And that is textbook sack bunt 101 from Tristan Ringrose. Copeland is on third, and there's only one away for the Studs.
Yeah, and it was a nice job by Nutfer. That was a nice bunt. That was shallow in the infield. He made a nice run up from the pitcher's mound to take a good look at third and realized he didn't have a play, so he didn't force it and just got the first out of the inning at first base. So Copeland, who drove in the RBI double to plate the Studs' first run of the game, here in the bottom of the second, he's over at third with one gone.
2-1 Fish Sticks. They took this lead in the top of the first, and the Studs starting to respond back here in the bottom of the second. Already a run scored on an RBI double from Jackson Copeland, who stands on third base. And Joel Fernandez in the box. First pitch to him was a ball. Fernandez from the Palouse. Going to go play at Wazoo. And that's outside, ball two from Nutfer.
Yeah, Wazoo, a program that made it to the NCAA tournament last year. They didn't have a great regular season, but turned around at just the right time.
Fastball from Nutfer is chased down low for strike one. Count is now 2-1. All it takes right now is a fly ball or a well-placed ground out to tie this game here in the second inning from Fernandez. And Ryan Spiro on deck. This is the 9-hole hitter, but Ryan Spiro is not your everyday 9-hole hitter. As Hellner covers that up outside for ball three. Spiro is plenty capable of doing damage in the last spot of the lineup for the Studs. Three balls, one strike to Joel Fernandez. Fastball, that's nicely placed for strike two from Nutfer. So the count is full. Last time we saw a full count from Nutfer, Jackson Copeland punished a fastball for an RBI double into left center field.
Yeah, that's a great comeback pitch from Nutfer. Behind 3-1 and in danger of putting two on.
Another payoff. Infield in for the Fish Sticks, and that's outside. Second walk of the inning issued by Nutfer. This time it's Joel Fernandez moving on over to first. Two open bags, so not the end of the world, as now the double play is in order for the Sticks, but Garrett DeGallier will head out to talk with Nutfer just to try and limit the damage and keep the Fish Sticks out in front here in the second.
Yeah, so Nutfer breezed through the bottom of the first inning and then ran into trouble immediately here in the bottom of the second, but still only one run is across with one out, first and third. A double play could end this. But he's been a little bit wild on that fastball on the outside part of the zone. He might just be pumping too much velocity on it to try to find strikeouts. Before his outing on Tuesday, he talked to us about how he wanted to find the zone more in 2-strike counts, but just not try to force strikeouts. He is a high strikeout guy, but that's now his 17th walk of the year in less than 17 innings. So a walk in innings not going to get it done at the Division I level, which is where he's going next year. So looking to hone in on those walks and just force contact other than Copeland's double, which has been very weak so far for the Studs.
Runners on the corners, one out, and the first pitch to Ryan Spiro is popped foul onto the thoroughfare street here at the University of Puget Sound in Tacoma for strike one. Spiro in the 9-hole. We've seen this guy all over the lineup card this summer, and this is a scary sight to have in your 9 spot, hitting over 300 this year with the Studs. Outside to Spiro for ball one. It seems like, especially to righties with the lefty Nutfer, he's missed that fastball outside more often than not.
He definitely has, and it's tailing away from him a little bit. That usually means he's trying to just pump too much speed, like I said.
1-1. That one finds the zone. It's popped into right field. Sonoy on the run, back to the wall, and it's off the wall. That'll score the tying run for sure. It got by Sonoy. Spiro's going to be into third. Fernandez churning for home, and he's in standing up. Ryan Spiro, 2-run triple. The Studs have their first lead of the game. It's 3-2 Seattle Cheney.
Yeah, and that was a really unfortunate bounce off the right field wall. Sonoy had to make a pretty far run. It's really not his fault whatsoever. But he tried to kind of jump up and make the grab, but he had no chance at it. And then that's the first ball that's hit off the right field wall in either of the outings here at Puget Sound. It took a nasty bounce right back to where Riley Sonoy originally started. And so that allowed Spiro to get that triple, and that plates 2 more. So it's 3-2 Studs here suddenly in the bottom of the second.
And that is what this Studs lineup can do and has been doing all summer. 1-0, that's another base hit. This time it's Dante Grant, and that'll bring home Spiro easily from third base. So 4-2 Studs in a blink here in Tacoma, and Dante Grant, he's good for a hit or two every game.
He is. Again, 2 doubles about a week and a half ago in that meeting between these two teams at the Friar, and he popped out his first time up quickly. And now with Bradley Carl up, this is danger zone for the Fish Sticks.
Nupfer still out there. He will check on Grant. Throw gets away from Bartholomew, covered well by Fuego, and Grant will have to come back to first base. He thought about going for second, and he can fly, so it wouldn't have been too surprising. Would have been a close play at second base, but he's still at first. Now Bradley Carl comes up. Carl was hit by a pitch in the first inning. Grant breaks for second. Throw from Hellner. Well placed, but not in time. Grant's got all kinds of speed, and another runner in scoring position for the Studs.
Yeah, we expect Grant every time he reaches base to take off. Got a ton of speed at the top of the lineup, and we're starting to see a little frustration seep in right now for Cole Nupfer. He kind of just fired that pickoff attempt over to first that got away, and starting to lose his control that has really been honed in over the last couple of games.
1-0 to Carl, popped foul. Up and over the netting here at UPS. That's strike one. After such a good inning at the plate for the Studs already, and they've only got one away, the last guy you want to see right now is Bradley Carl if you're Cole Nupfer.
Especially with a runner in scoring position with a lot of speed like Dante Grant at second base.
1-1, and that's just what Nupfer needed against Bradley Carl. He is back to the dugout. That was strike three, so he sat down looking. Scoreboard here in Tacoma read 1-1, but that was 0-2. And Nupfer paints the corner for strike three on the always dangerous Bradley Carl.
Job's not done yet, but that was a great pitch on the outside part of the plate for Nupfer. That was a huge one.
It's also the first strikeout of the entire day for Nupfer. Usually a strikeout guy, but only struck out one in that really good outing in Port Angeles and only has one today. Pitch count up to 40 for Cole Nupfer as he slings in a strike one to Jeremiah Crane. Likely his last inning of work with the Fish Sticks bullpen moving around. Big lead for Grant at second. Nupfer comes home, 0-1, spiked into the chest plate of Hellner for ball one.
Yeah, great job by Hellner, who we kind of talked about it last time he was behind the plate, but has really improved behind the dish, keeping balls in front of him. We saw Barsotti yesterday, so now it's Hellner's turn to do that against the Studs, which is all the important job, because they will take off on the base paths at the first sight of any ball getting somewhat past Hellner.
It's a close miss for Nupfer for ball two right there. And this Studs dugout as well, probably the most active dugout you'll see in the entire league. Loving every take that the Studs are able to put together at the plate. 2-1 on the way from Nupfer. It is fouled off towards the Studs bullpen. Counts even again at 2-2.
Yeah, 4 runs already here in the bottom of the second inning. It's a 4-2 lead now for the Studs. And Cole Nupfer, we already saw a mound visit. We've seen a little bit of frustration, but has done really well in the last couple of batters to limit the damage, especially with the runner still in scoring position.
2-2 count with 2 down in the bottom of the second, and the Studs leading 4-2. Deuce is wild here in Tacoma, and that's fouled back, so we'll stay at 2-2.
Huge battle to win here for Nupfer. We've seen him go deep counts a couple of times against the Studs bottom half of the lineup, and the Studs came out on top both times, including on a 3-2 count, an RBI double for Copeland that scored the first run.
4 runs on 3 hits and 2 walks for the Studs, and that's a long run for Hamada. He can't get there. Base hit for Crane into right field. Grant blazes around third, and he's in safely. 5 runs in the second inning for the Seattle Studs, and that's not great contact from Jeremiah Crane. We've seen better from him this summer, but it finds green grass, and the Studs just continue to move runners around the base paths. It's 5-2 Seattle.
Yeah, that one is really unlucky for Nupfer. It was a great pitch that completely jammed and just flies out over to right field for Jeremiah Crane. And now after a 9-pitch first inning, that was Cole Nupfer's 46th pitch. So 37 pitches now in the second inning. This will likely be his last inning of work.
We saw a similar start earlier this week in Bellingham. The Fish Sticks got out to a 2-0 lead in the top half of the first inning, and then a 6-run third for the Bells that propelled them to a 10-4 victory up in Bellingham. Count is 1-1 to Kai Halstead, who flew out to Sonoy in right field his first time up.
Been hovering around 380 average all summer, has Halstead.
Nupfer misses outside once again. That's ball 2. If Halstead does reach base here with a runner on first and 2 down, that means the Studs have batted around in the second with Gage Thompson, who walked already here in the second inning, on deck. 5 runs here in the second inning, and the Studs have broken it open. It's 5-2. They lead over the Sticks, and that's fouled back by Halstead up and over the bleachers. 2-2 count. So another deep count, and Nupfer has gotten into quite a few deep counts, just hasn't been able to win the battles.
Yeah, including that last at-bat against Crane, which he did win. He forced really weak contact, but it just blooped over to the right side of the outfield for a base hit that scored another run.
Another 2-2, and that's chased outside. Cole Nupfer finally out of the second inning. But 5 runs for the Studs, just such an explosive lineup. And they now lead the Fish Sticks 5-2 through 2 at UPS.
And now another comeback opportunity for the Fish Sticks. They've had a lot of those recently and had another last night, but finding yourself down 5-2 is not good news against the Studs. Of course, we mentioned it a couple times, but they did make a 7-0 furious comeback in the bottom of the 7th inning at the Friar against the Studs, but do it twice, and that just makes it all the more improbable. And a long wait for Dolan Wynn in the bottom of the second inning. That was a very lengthy half inning. So he got a lot of time to recover and think things over, and after 2 runs came across in the top of the first, it was very clean work for Dolan Wynn in the top half of the second inning, so trying to continue that momentum.
5-2 Studs lead through 2 here in Tacoma. It was 2 runs in the top half of the first inning for the Fish Sticks that gave them the first blood in this game, but the Studs, a big-time response in the bottom of the second. They played 5 runs on 3 hits and a couple walks mixed in. They were a home run away from the team cycle in that second inning as well. A base hit from Dante Grant. There was also a single from Jeremiah Crane in that inning. And then a double from Jackson Copeland that brought home a run. And a triple from Ryan Spiro that brought home 2. And gave the Studs their first lead of the evening. Rylan Gullard will lead off for the Sticks here in the third. Gullard, Hellner, Bartholomew, 3-4-5. Due up for Dubsea. First pitch from Wynn. Catches the low end for strike 1.
Yeah, strike zone widening up a bit. So that one was definitely outside and low.
0-1. That one's in the strike zone for sure, and Gullard fouls it off for strike 2. Already seen a 2-strike hit from Gullard today, and this is his trademark, getting into these deep 2-strike counts and coming out on top. 0-2 on the way from Wynn, and that is a waste pitch outside for ball 1.
Yeah, and we saw it happen yesterday in that game at the Friar, the furious comeback against the Honkers, where he was on 2 strikes, then an off speed. He just sat back and fired it into left field for his 2nd straight hit. Now 3 hits and as many at bats going into this one.
Gullard watches up in the attic for ball 2. Dolan Wynn hasn't really had his defense on his side so far today. Sure, he gave up a couple hard hit balls in the first inning, but an error, a tough read out by Ringrose, followed by another error by Tristan Ringrose, and then there was a throw from Gage Thompson that almost got away. It was a nice play by Jackson Copeland to record the out right there. And usually this is a really disciplined Studs team, and they haven't done that super well today, and that's part of why Dolan Wynn has given up so many base runners. Full count to Gullard. Payoff comes home, and Gullard pops it up. It's going to go foul, and he'll have new life in a full count.
Yeah, Gullard's been so tough to strike out this summer. Has lived under a 10% strikeout rate the entire way, and there's a reason for that. He's showing it right now. He's fouled off multiple off speeds.
That's a fastball that he takes into right field. It's going to stand up in medium depth right, and that's an easy play for Ryan Spiro out there in right field for the first out. So a deep count for Gullard, which is expected from him, but he flies out to start the 3rd.
It was a great at-bat from Rylan Gullard, but even better by Dolan Wynn to retire what's arguably been the best Fish Sticks hitter all summer in a deep count, which is pretty hard to do. So he's churning right now on the mound.
Evan Hellner watches strike 1 go by. A 3-1 ground out for Hellner in the first inning that brought home the first run of the game. Braden Bartholomew on deck also has an RBI to his name in this one already. As Hellner takes that into right field, another opportunity for Ryan Spiro to record an out. And he does just that in right center, so 2 F9s to start the 3rd inning for the Fish Sticks.
Now batting number 29, Braden Bartholomew.
And against Gullard and Hellner, the top 2 guys in batting average this summer, to retire both of them with flyouts in the top of the 3rd after your team just played at 5 runs and gave you a lot of run support is really a confidence booster for Dolan Wynn.
First pitch to Bartholomew is down and out for ball 1. 1 for 1 for Bartholomew today. Base hit that was blooped into right center. That brought home Gullard. Now Bartholomew shows bunt with 2 outs and just foul. It was almost really nice from Bartholomew, but trickles foul, and it's 1-1. In a 1-0 count, 2 down, you've got Braden Bartholomew at the plate. Do you like the call right there? Because personally, you got to let Bartholomew swing away, in my opinion. He's the team leader in home runs, and it's a 2-out situation. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I would agree with you. We talked about some of the bunt situations that we didn't like yesterday either, but yeah, that one you just got to let him swing away, especially in a 5-2 deficit.
1-1 doesn't show bunt right there either way. It's skipped in for ball 2. Again, Bartholomew leads his team in homers with 4 and runs batted in with 26 now on the summer. 2-1, shot up the middle, another base hit for Braden Bartholomew. 2-out single. That's why you want to have a guy like Bartholomew swinging away, and he's 2 for 2 on the evening. That brings up Riley Sonoy.
Riley Sonoy.
We've seen so many instances this summer of the Fish Sticks rallying with 2 outs. And they did it yesterday in that 8th inning against the Northwest Honkers to take that win. So now with 2 gone, Bartholomew at first and Riley Sonoy up to the plate. We'll see if they can do it again.
Just a bit up from Dolan Wynn for ball 1 to Sonoy. Sonoy went after the first pitch his first time up and flew out to Carl in the left field. Midway infield playing deep on Sonoy as a fastball is in there in the outside corner. 4th strike, 1 to Sonoy.
Sonoy was really struggling going into yesterday's game after a groin injury sidelined him for about a week before ripping a single in that 8th inning.
That's down, and Bartholomew had a great read on it. He's in scoring position. Tough one to handle for Joel Fernandez right there, and Bartholomew was all over it. He's on second base, 2-1 count to Sonoy.
Big opportunity to dig into this lead for the Fish Sticks. They're going to need to keep up with this fast-paced and deep Seattle Studs lineup. So now the runner in scoring position and 2 outs. A base hit here turns the tides of this game.
Another good watch from Sonoy right there. It's low on the fastball for ball 3. Jake Daly on deck. Grounded out to the shortstop. First time up today. Counts 3-1. Bartholomew at second. Studs leading 5-2 over the Fish Sticks here in the top of the third. 3-1 to Sonoy. Way inside. Almost hit him. But it's ball 4 either way. And Riley Sonoy reaches base for the first time this afternoon. That brings up Jake Daly with runners on second and first. And 2 down. One swing can get the Fish Sticks right back in this game.
Yeah, Daly's been struggling from the plate after a hot start to the summer. So this one could be a great confidence booster, not only for him, but for the Fish Sticks going in to the heart of this game.
First pitch is outside to Daly. Daly hit a ground ball over to Gage Thompson and ended up almost beating the throw. The throw from Thompson was not on line, and it ran Jackson Copeland, the first baseman, down the line, but he hauled it in and applied the tag on Daly in time. After review, Daly was ruled out, and Daly checks his swing, doesn't go. Man, that was impressive from Jake Daly to not cross the plane right there, and it's ball 2.
Yeah, and that was a good call. He definitely didn't go across the halfway point, but that was a nice off-speed from Dolan Wynn to try to get him to chase on that outside half.
Jake Daly, the St. Peter's Peacock, ahead 2-0, and that's a fastball right in the zone. Daly's behind it for strike 1.
Swinging there on 2-0 with 2 gone, especially after a walk to Riley Sonoy, the batter before. You got to have immense confidence in that ball in the strike zone.
Sure was in the strike zone. It's one of the better pitches Daly will see this time around, and the 2-1 runs inside for ball 3. Wynn misses his spot by quite a bit. And Daly 1 pitch away from loading the bases for Beckett Turnbow. Fish Sticks trailing by 3. It's been an eventful game so far. 2 runs in the top of the first for the Fish Sticks, followed by 5 runs in the bottom of the second for the Studs. And that's on the top rail. Really nice fastball from Wynn to fill up the count.
Yeah, that one was really close on the top outside half of that strike zone. Now on 3-2. Daly's got to protect the plate.
Full count offering from Dolan Wynn to Jake Daly on their way. Bartholomew on second. Sonoy on first. They're moving inside ball 4. Good AB from Jake Daly, and the bags are packed for Turnbow with 2 down.
Yeah, that was a curveball that tried to slide into the zone at the last second, but Daly did a really good job of staying strong in the batter's box and showing how close that ball was to hitting him. And it was, I mean, essentially up to the umpire, obviously, to make that call, but it felt like everything froze for a second after that pitch. And Wynn really liked it. He started strutting over back to the dugout. He didn't like the inside call. So a gutsy take by Daly, but a good one nonetheless. And now the bases are loaded here with 2 outs.
So a mound visit here in Tacoma for Dolan Wynn. We saw Vaden Lawrence throw against the Fish Sticks last time these two teams met, and he was lights out. 5 scoreless innings from Lawrence, and he's obviously the ace for this team. Dolan Wynn, not a guy that the Fish Sticks have seen this year, and they've been able to see him a lot better than they've seen Lawrence this summer.
Yeah, so now with Beckett Turnbow coming to the plate with 2 outs and the bases loaded, Turnbow hit a home run to the deepest part of the park at the Friar yesterday. The big opportunity to respond after 5 runs plated in the bottom of the second inning for the Studs.
So here's Beckett Turnbow. Bases loaded, 2 down. Fish Sticks trailing by 3 here in the top of the third. It's 5-2. Seattle Cheney. First pitch to Turnbow, outside ball 1. Fastball is ranging all over the place for Dolan Wynn right now. He's missed all directions.
2 straight walks for Wynn as well. might be thinking about maybe letting one go.
1-0, nice hold from Turnbow, and that's down low for ball 2. So after back-to-back walks that ended up loading the bases after a base hit from Braden Bartholomew, win behind 2-0, and all of these base runners reached with 2 down as well. This inning started with 2 flyouts out to right field. 2-0, that's up high. So Turnbow way ahead, 3 balls, no strikes.
Yeah, absolute no reason to swing the bat here on 3-0. 2 straight walks by Dolan Wynn, and the bases loaded. A walk will score a run, so let this one fly by.
3-0, and that's a zone finder. Almost missed down low, but it's in for strike 1. Studs, a big inning in the bottom of the second. They lead 5-2 right here in the top of the third. 3-1 coming to Turnbow. He swings and misses. He's a little ahead. And another full count.
Yeah, I think Turnbow could have let that go for ball 4. That was a fastball in the bottom outside half of the zone. But now a 3-2 count. 2 straight walks from Dolan Wynn. It's really good recovery to make this a 3-2 count after falling behind 3-0.
Runners will be moving. Full count, 2 down. Wynn comes home to Turnbow. Swing and a miss. Dolan Wynn gets out of the inning, chirps the Fish Sticks dugout a little bit on the way off. And the Studs lead the Fish Sticks 5-2. That's a huge escape for Dolan Wynn in the top of the third. On the other side of the break, Studs look to extend their lead here in Tacoma.
For over 15 years, As You Wish Electric has offered the comprehensive electrical solutions Seattle families trust. We are proud to announce that we can now also serve your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. As we grow, we are committed to delivering the same knowledgeable and friendly experience that earned our spot as the region's top-rated electrical company. Contact As You Wish Electric Plumbing, Heating, and Air today to learn more.
Once upon a home, in a Seattle bungalow, the Huffs searched on Thumbtack to find their next pro. Now the job is all done and the table is set. The hot dogs taste better on their fancy new deck. Start your home story on Thumbtack.
5-2 Studs heading into the bottom of the third. The Fish Sticks, after stranding 1 and scoring 2 runs in the top of the first, they leave 2 on the bags in the second, then leave them loaded in the third.
Leading it off for the Studs.
Yeah, and that was a tough one. It is early in this game, but it felt like so much momentum on that last strikeout from Beckett. Turnbow went back to the Studs side after loading the bases with 2 gone. Okay, maybe Dolan Wynn is letting up a little bit here and went behind 3-0 to Turnbow, and then a nice-looking off-speed pitch got Turnbow to chase. So the score is still at 5-2, and Nupfer back on the mound.
First pitch to Gage Thompson. Fastball. Thompson way late to it for strike 1. Gage Thompson led off the second inning with a walk, and the Studs eventually scored all 5 of their runs to this point in that second inning. It only took Nupfer 9 pitches to get through the first, and after a bumpy second, it's probably the reason he's in this game right now. 0-1 to Thompson, popped foul. Nupfer ahead 0-2.
Great start to this at-bat from Nupfer. He went 40 pitches in the last inning, so he needs a quick one here. I think the Sticks were allowing him around 3 to 4 innings in this start, up to 52 pitches now.
0-2 comes. It's fastball, and it's up high for ball 1. That top rail has been a gray area. It seems like overall it's kind of been shrunk, but we've seen a few strikes up there as well.
Yeah, the zone has been widened. There was a strikeout on Bradley Carl on the outside part that looked like a ball in the outside half of the zone.
1-2, called strike 3. Nice bounce back to start the third for Nupfer. Thompson is sat down looking.
Yeah, that went right to the bottom half of the zone, like I was talking about before that pitch, and the umpire called strike 3. Thompson doesn't like the call as he's walking back to the dugout, but it's a pitch that's just too close to the zone on a 2-strike count. A great way to start this inning.
Jackson Copeland now up. Great battle between Nupfer and Copeland eventually resulted in an RBI double in the second inning, and Nupfer just lost control of that one for ball 1. It skips in. Thompson is already struck out in this inning, then Copeland and Tristan Ringrose due up for the Studs. Fastball flown into center field. Gullard ranges to his left, all kinds of time. And there's 2 gone in the 3rd.
2 quick outs for Cole Knupfer, reminiscent of the bottom of the 1st inning for him. And again, after marathon bottom of the 2nd, where the Studs plated 5 runs, a strikeout and now a quick flyout. That's exactly what Knupfer needed in this ballgame.
So now Ringrose comes up. Ringrose laid down a really nice sac bunt in the 2nd that advanced Copeland to 3rd. And Knupfer starts him off outside down corner, strike 1. That's a really nice looking fastball.
He's honed in the fastball that was getting away from him in the 2nd inning, and now starting to paint the corners like he did on Tuesday against the lefties.
That is a hot shot right at Draper, and it gets by. Hit hard from Tristan Ringrose and hops off the turf and into left field. Looked like it caught a piece of Draper's mitt on the way by, but that was hit very hard by Tristan Ringrose.
Yeah, it was. I think that'll go down as a hit. There was just absolutely no chance for Ian Draper to gauge that ball off the turf. Now DeGallier is going to come out and talk to Knupfer.
I think that'll be the day for him as well. He just signaled to the bullpen. So Cole Knupfer's day is done. A really rough 2nd inning. He'd tell you himself he had a rough 2nd inning. And the Studs lead 5-2 as the Fish Sticks head to the dugout. Runner on first and 2 down for the Studs, looking to extend the lead.
That'll bring up Kai Twites from the bullpen, who has pitched well this summer. So quick 2 outs, which is exactly what Cole Knupfer and this team needed to start out this inning. But now going to the bottom of the order, which crushed the Fish Sticks back in the 2nd inning, Twites is going to look to shut him down.
So Kai Twites now on the mound. Last time we saw him was on Wednesday up in Bellingham against the Bells. 13 innings of work for Twites, a late addition to this Fish Sticks rotation. And Twites, 14 hits, 8 earned runs in those 13 innings, and he struck out 10.
High leverage situation with 2 outs. There is a runner on first base. But we've seen higher leverage situations that Twites has come in this summer. So we've seen him start a couple of games. This is a position where Twites can go multiple innings of work, and maybe even 3 or up to 4 innings now in relief against this Studs team, especially for a Fish Stick squad that has played in, again, the 19th game in their last 22 days. So the arms are tired, the players are tired, but Twites, who's a late addition to the squad, is looking to continue on a strong summer.
Twice wasn't even on the roster card for the Fish Sticks in this game, so maybe after a rough start for Knupfer, they go to Twites right here, trying to clean up and keep the Fish Sticks in this game. We saw Rodrigo Montano come in last night. We've seen Montano start a few, and we've seen Twites start a few this year as well. But Montano did such a good job last night of keeping the Deluxes in that game the whole way through, and then finally they found a spark and ended up winning 7-6. And Twites tasked with a pretty similar task right here. 5-2, Studs lead the Sticks here in Tacoma in the bottom of the 3rd. Runner on first in the form of Tristan Ringrose and 2 down, bringing up Joel Fernandez.
Yeah, this will be Twites' 6th appearance already as a Stick. He has 10 strikeouts and 10 walks in 13 innings. He has a 5.54 ERA. He had a great first scoreless spurt with the Fish Sticks where he went 5 scoreless, but has reached some trouble, has had a little bit of control issues over his last few appearances. So looking to manage that here in the 3rd inning.
Joel Fernandez due up, and then Ryan Spiro after him. Fernandez reached on a walk in that 2nd inning, and then Spiro, a 2-run triple that went off the right field fence and brought home 2 runs, gave the Studs the lead. They eventually expanded on that. All 5 of their runs came in that 2nd inning. And after a 2-out rally for the Fish Sticks that fell just short of bringing in a run. Studs looking to put together one right here. 2 quick outs for Cole Nupfer, then he gives up a hard hit that just gets by Ian Draper, simply put. And Kai Twites taking his time in the dugout. I think he maybe had to take something off or grab something. Who knows? I think Kai Twites is the only guy that knows what's going on right now.
Maybe he's trying to look at extended stoppage time now in the World Cup final.
There you go. I mean, I can't blame him. At any moment, that game could have an all-time moment.
Yeah.
Looks like it hasn't happened yet, though.
No.
It's 0-0 in the 95th.
Against what I thought the score would be in this game, but makes sense. Twites just threw a warm-up pitch and kind of slipped on the turf. So after an extended break, he's going to have to go back out and warm up a little bit more.
Taking his time out there, and it looked like there was action in the Fish Sticks bullpen the whole way through. So I don't think this is exactly an unexpected thing for Kai Twites to come into this game. It's just, I guess it just had to go grab something out of the dugout. I don't know.
It was interesting that Duncan Boss came in relief the last time these two squared off here at Puget Sound, and he had to do the same thing. And it might be because of the pitch counter or the device on their wrist. And we're encountering the issues right now with the video stream. We can't get any Wi-Fi. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but that could be a theory I have.
Interesting.
Yeah, that the Wi-Fi not good enough here for us to video stream, so it might be doing the same thing to Kai Twites right now, but now he's ready to go.
Well, I didn't even think about that, but I think Sweeney's onto something right there. First pitch Kai Twites throws turns into a base hit for Joel Fernandez. That is laced through the left side of the infield. It gets by Draper, and 1 pitch, 1 hit against Kai Twites today. Runners on second and first, still 2 down in the bottom of the third, and that brings up Ryan Spiro. Spiro, his first time up in this exact same situation with 2 runners on, albeit there was 1 out then, but a 2-run triple that made it 3-2 Studs. They now lead 5-2.
This is danger zone again with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, especially the guy like Sparrow, who already has a 2-run triple in this game, like you said.
Spiro fouls off the first pitch. He'll throw a batting glove over to the dugout. Disposes that. He goes 1 glove, 1 bare hand here. Runners on second and first. And 2 down here. With the Studs leading 5-2, looking for more. That one runs up and in on Spiro for ball 1.
Almost a hit by a pitch and almost an incredible goal by Aluminium on the 97th minute.
You know, it seems like you're not very focused on the game.
I am actually incredibly dialed into the Fish Sticks game right now.
1-1 coming from Twites, and that breaks its way back into the zone for strike 2. It looked like it was starting up and in on Spiro once again, but loops in, and Twites is ahead 1-2.
Yeah, that was a great looking curveball. It was the same curveball on the inside part of the zone that Jake Daly walked on last inning over to first base. That time it just got a piece of the inside part of the zone.
Twites on the far right part of the mound, 1-2 is a fastball that runs outside. We saw a lot of that exact movement and that exact pitch from Cole Nutt for the lefty.
We've seen the Studs go so deep in counts, including Sparrow himself, just last inning, and here he is again and looking to capitalize once again.
2-2, that is in on the hands of Sparrow, and another full count forced by the Studs. Lineup is so good, and when you get into these battles, you have to do everything in your power to win them because they will make you pay on any mistake pitch. Payoff pitch on the way from Twites, his second batter of the day. Runners move, and Spiro fouls it back.
Great battle between Spiro and Twites, and Twites let up a single on his first pitch of his outing. Last at bat, now much deeper count, and in a 5-2 deficit, keeping Sparrow, or putting the Fish Sticks back down to, or back in the lineup, going back to the top of the order for the Studs is crucial.
Sparrow into left field, but it gets down in front of Cade Galen. That's going to be another run for the Studs, and another run driven in by Ryan Sparrow in the 9-hole today. He's already brought 3 runs home. It's 6-2 Studs in the 3rd.
Man, just another great at-bat for Ryan Sparrow. Takes it to 3-2, fouls off a couple of pitches, and then he actually threw off, or Cade Galen threw us off. It looked like maybe that would have been a line out there to left field, but he plays it well. It lands right in front of him, maybe to prevent another base runner from advancing. But Sparrow, my goodness, 2 hits, a triple and a single, and 3 RBIs already in, and now it's 6-2 here in the bottom of the 3rd.
And Dante Grant, the first pitch he sees in his 3rd time to the plate today, is a strike on the outside 3rd. In the 1st inning, he flew out to center field. In the 2nd inning, he had a base hit that drove in Sparrow from 3rd. And he's behind 0-2. That's an identical pitch from Twites. It's got that two-seam movement that breaks away, even with the righty Twites.
Grant has killed this Fish Sticks team in the last couple of games. He showed it off with that single last inning and 2 doubles in the game before.
Hamada playing that gap where Grant laced a hit already today. Very tight. That is chopped up and over the head of Twites. Tough play for Draper with Grant's speed, but it's in time. Really nice read from the shortstop, Ian Draper. Another one on the board for the Studs, and they lead the Fish Sticks 6-2 through 3. We'll be back for the 4th after this break.
Wendy's went back to the kitchen to give our famous spicy chicken sandwich a total upgrade. More crunch, more flavor, with heat that just hits. Is this our best spicy chicken ever? Looks like a yes to me. Spicy chicken just got better at Wendy's.
They always say, think happy thoughts. It's easy when you're a Wendy's Cookie Dough Frosty Fusion. I'm an instant dopamine hit. Get it? Dope-amine? Like cookie dough. I said like cookie dough! Happiness is a Cookie Dough Frosty Fusion at Wendy's.
Once upon a home, in a Seattle bungalow, the Huffs searched on Thumbtack to find their next pro. Now the job is all done, and the table is set. The hot dogs taste better on their fancy new deck. Start your home story on Thumbtack.
Oh, Audrey, look over there.
Where? Oh, a whole herd of reindeer bears.
Not herds, Audrey. Rainier's come in 6-pack.
Oh,
Wake up, Harley.
Harley, look at the reindeers. Oh, they're just so fresh and friendly.
6-2 Studs leading the Sticks through 3 in Tacoma. Angus Trengmo and Kyle Sweeney joining you from the University of Puget Sound down here in Tacoma, just on a beautiful day. We've got views of Mount Rainier to center field, albeit they are blocked a little bit by a warehouse out there in left center, but
unfortunately,
we can see the summit, and the Studs have impressed. After a 9-pitch first inning from Cole Nupfer, it has been constant pressure on the bases from Seattle Cheney.
Yeah, they had 5 runs played in the bottom of the 2nd inning and just looked like the Studs that we've come to expect this season. Again, entering this game 26-9 and 15-4 in PIL play, and then with 2 outs and nobody on, a 2-out rally ensued, and only 1 run did come across, but it's just the bottom half of this order for the Studs that has been doing all the damage, including Ryan Spiro, who has a 2-run triple and an RBI single that happened in the last inning. He's got 3 RBIs and 2 hits already through 3 innings. And so the Fish Sticks offense is going to have to keep up with the Studs offense right now. They're going to have to start plating runs after Dolan Wynn got out of a bases-loaded 2-out jam last inning. It's now to the relief and to the bullpen for the Studs.
Yes, and Max Schwayen is the man for the task right here. Fish Sticks saw Schwayen in that win here in Tacoma about a month ago as Alex Hamada is ahead 2 balls and no strikes.
Now, Chewan is going to go talk with Fernandez. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication on the pitches.
Hamada flew out to right field where Ryan Spiro was waiting. First time up in the second inning. Fish Sticks have had a runner in scoring position in every inning, and they've left 6 runners on base in the first 3 frames. Hamada way ahead 3-0, takes 9 all the way right here as Schwan still looking for the strike zone for the first time.
And this has been an elongated game already through the first third of the game, and it's because there's been long innings. There was a 2-run top of the first and a 5-run bottom of the second, but the pitchers are having a little trouble finding the zone.
That's in there for strike 1 from Schwan, the first time he's found the zone today. Hamada, the leadoff hitter in this inning with the 9-hitter today. It's Ian Draper and Cade Galen right after him, and then Rylan Gullard after that. And Alex Hamada reaches on a 5-pitch walk to start the top of the 4th. So another base runner for the Fish Sticks today. They have had plenty of those.
31, Ian Draper.
It's exactly what this team needs, especially seeing a guy like Dolan Wynn, who was pretty successful in his start, come out of the game. Now you got to think that Draper is going to have more of a patient approach at the plate after a leadoff walk in Chewan's first at-bat.
Breaking stuff in there for strike 1. It started at Draper's helmet and dropped right in for strike 1. I don't think Draper was sitting off speed to start his at-bat here. Third time up for Draper today. 0 for 2, reached on an error in the second. Oh, 1 skips in, not a good read for Hamada, and a great cover by Fernandez. That'll keep Hamada at first.
Yeah, he had to slide over from the crouching position and keep that ball in front of him, and the ball bounced out at least 8 to 10 feet out to his right. And a really quick recovery to make sure that Hamada stayed at first.
Wind blowing out to center, maybe right center today. Draper loves that pull side into left field as that's inside for ball 2, and Studs infield knows that. We saw Tristan Ringrose shift over, and it was hit right to him. He just mishandled a hard-hit ground ball back in the second. He shifted over again here. 2-1, that's way out to Draper, and he's ahead 3-1. So Max Schwan starts the inning and his outing with a 5-pitch walk to Hamada, and now he's behind 3-1 to Draper.
Yeah, Draper's going to have to see one he really likes in the zone to take a swing here in a hitter's count.
3 balls, 1 strike. That's fastball. Draper cuts, and it's popped up. There's a lot of playable land out there down the third base line, and it stays in play, and it's hauled in over at third base by Jeremiah Crane. So Draper goes after the 3-1 fastball, pops it up into foul ground, and it is out number 1 in the 4th.
Yeah, that almost looked like it was going to tail inside for ball 4, but Draper just got too aggressive, and it was so inside he had to get out early on it, but still didn't get early enough. It got jammed, and a huge pitch, and a little bit of luck in there for Chewan on that pop-out.
So now the lefty Cade Galen digs in. That runs in on him, almost hit him in the knee. It's ball 1 from Chewan. We've seen 11 pitches from Max Chewan here in the 4th inning. 8 of them have been balls. So Cade Galen can't expect him to swing it much right here. Alex Hamada on first. Fish Sticks trailing the Studs 6-2 here in the top of the 4th. And Galen offers at a fastball right down the middle and misses everything for strike 1.
After singling back in the first, Galen swung and missed on a pitch back in the 2nd inning, but he's been so hot as of late. He's taken much more confident hacks, which is a great sign for the Sticks.
1-1 coming from Schwan, and that's in there for strike 2. Max Schwan starting to settle in, and he's ahead on Cade Galen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mata on first, Galen at the plate, and Rylan Gullard, who's 1 for 2 on the day, on deck. 1-2 to Galen is fouled back, and it slips out of the glove of Fernandez, so Galen is alive.
Yeah, Galen mentioned it in his first at-bat, but he's seen so many just deep counts in the last couple of days. He's done a great job at fighting him off, and again, with more confidence comes better plate discipline. He's showing that right now.
Pickoff move over to Hamada. Not the biggest lead for Alex Hamada. He's in safely with ease back to first base. Fish Sticks were out in front through 1 in this game, but 5 runs in the second and another in the third. Give the Studs a 6-2 cushion. Galen fouls that over towards Gullard in the on-deck circle. Another 2-strike foul off from Cade Galen. Galen 1 for 2 on the day with a single in the first and a strikeout. He came around to score in that first inning.
It almost looked like a changeup that just dipped down at the last second against Galen, who fouled it straight into the turf.
Third straight 1-2 offering coming from Schwayan. That's outside. Hamada breaks for second. Throw is way high from Fernandez. Ringrose covers it up on the backup, but Hamada in safely with a steal. Looked like it wasn't the greatest jump Alex Hamada's had all summer, but Fernandez's throw just was not even close.
Yeah, and Hamada's had success stealing bases this summer, and I was surprised that he hadn't up to that point, but I think interim head coach Mark Lynn trying to anticipate an off-speed there. He did get a ball outside of the zone, and Fernandez just tossed that about 5 feet too high for Gage Thompson there at shortstop, and now Hamada in scoring position.
2-2. Galen leaves it, and he did go around for strike 3. It was a close check swing, and it was a close pitch on the zone as well, and Galen sent back to the dugout swinging. That'll bring up Rylan Gullard with 2 down.
Yeah, if we had a replay, I'd definitely want to take a look at that, but it was so close. But third base umpire calls a strikeout. Now 2 gone for Rylan Gullard. A big spot here to try to get a little spark back into this Fish Sticks offense.
Hamada on second. It's the 4th straight inning in as many frames that the Fish Sticks have put a runner in scoring position as Gullard watches strike 1 from Schwayan. So it hasn't been for a lack of opportunities today, and the Fish Sticks have been able to plate 2, but the Studs out in front by 4 right now. Big lead for Hamada, and Gullard chases down low for strike 2.
Yeah, that was, again, a nice off-speed by Schwayan that dipped down into the zone late, and it wasn't even a full swing from Gullard. You don't see many awkward swings like that, but he's done well in 2-strike counts this week.
Another big lead for Hamada over at second. 0-2 breaks outside. 4-1. Again, Schwayan started this inning with, this is a pretty gaudy number, but 8 balls and 11 pitches, and since then he has bounced back really well. 1-2, Gullard swings through it. Max Schwayan ecstatic to be out of the 4th inning. He sits down Gullard on strikes. 2 Ks in the 4th for Max Schwayan, and the Studs still out in front by 4 on the Fish Sticks in Tacoma at 6-2, middle 4.
You ever wonder how Crispy gets to the fryer for games? He uses King County Metro's Rapid Ride H-Line. King County Metro, the official commute of your DubSea Fish Sticks.
Once upon a home in the Issaquah Highlands, the Parkers used Thumbtack for a new kitchen island. Now the pizza is cooking and the kids are excited. Thank goodness for Thumbtack and all it provided. Start your home story on Thumbtack.
6-2, Studs out in front of the Fish Sticks. Kai Twite's back out on the mound for DubSea, and 5 runs in the second, 1 run in the third for the Studs. They have no plans of stopping, and another scoreless frame for the Sticks. That makes it 3 in a row since 2 runs in the first. This Studs lineup is explosive, and we've seen it a couple times from them this year, but the Fish Sticks 2-1 against this team, and they've given the rest of the league just all kinds of trouble this season. I think we've seen why in the first 3.5 innings today.
Yeah, and the Sticks were down the entire game going into the later part of the last game these two teams met at the Friar. We've mentioned already a couple of times today with that thrilling and really stunning comeback victory over the Studs. But right now, I mean, the way this offense is looking right now, they jumped all over Cole Knupfer and had more damage done in the bottom of the third. So this is an offense that is really hard to stop. And right now, the momentum is in the Studs' favor.
Bradley Carl leading off. First pitch, he goes after it, and it's fouled off. Down the pull side, first base line for Carl. Bradley Carl, Jeremiah Crane, and Kai Halstead, 2, 3, 4, due up for the Studs here in the fourth. Surprisingly, it's been the bottom of the lineup doing the damage today for the Studs. That's right at Beckett Turnbow off the bat of Carl, and the throw across the diamond right on the money.
Yeah, great play by Turnbow to gauge that short hop on that line drive over at third base, and then collects himself and makes a calm and long throw across the diamond. That's a big out to get, as Carl's been pretty quiet here tonight.
Carl 0 for 2 on the day. He did reach back in the first inning on a hit by pitch. Now Crane comes up after it only took 2 pitches to retire Carl to start the bottom of the fourth from Kai Twites. Misses way down low. Almost burrowed a hole with that pitch for ball 1. Crane 1 for 2 on the evening. He's got a base hit that ended up scoring a run in that second inning. He's ahead 2-0 on Twites.
Seen a lot of damage come with 2 outs for the Studs. So no letting up for Kai Twites, and there is one gone here and a big out of Bradley Carl, but 2, 3, 4, this has been such a dangerous part of the order for the Studs all season long.
Crane doesn't offer, and it just misses for Twites. Counts 3-0. We'll have to chase down the ball after it gets by him from the throw from Hellner. Kai Halstead on deck. Halstead in the cleanup spot, 0 for 2 on the day, but one of the most dangerous hitters in the entire PIL this year. You can say that about a lot of the Studs bats, to be honest. 3-0, Twites, zone finder inside third, strike 1.
Yeah, Crane wasn't even sniffing any thought of that ball on 3-0. He just stood in the box the entire time and didn't even look at the pitch.
Crane still ahead 3-1 on Twites. And that's another fastball grounded over to Draper at short. Should be routine, and it is. So 2 down and as many batters faced for Kai Twites in the fourth.
This is exactly what happened last inning back in the bottom of the third, and it looked like Cole Knupfer was going to get out after letting up 5 runs in the bottom of the second, but that's where Studs started to manufacture base runners and played another run to extend the lead. So great start for Twites, but he knows better than anyone right now that job is far from over.
Especially with Kai Halstead up. First pitch to Halstead. Starts over the plate, then breaks just outside for ball 1. Halstead flew out to Sonoy in right field in the first inning, then struck out swinging to end that 5-run second. He's ahead 2-0 on Twites.
That rally started last inning with the walk, too, so just need to find the zone right now. He's been inducing weak contact.
2 balls, no strikes to Kai Halstead, and fastball breaks back in from Twites for strike 1. He's got the reverse break. Knupfer has a similar pitch that breaks the other way out of his left hand. Now Twites, the righty, has a mirror, and that is what he goes to for strike 1 right there. 2-1 on the way to Halstead. He offers, and it's fouled back towards Gage Thompson in the on-deck circle for strike 2.
Yeah, I think Twites got a little bit of a blessing on that 2-0 strike call in the outside corner, but that's exactly what pitchers on both sides should be targeting, as the strike zone has been widened a little bit on that part.
2-2 count with 2 down, and the Studs out in front 6-2. Here in the bottom of the fourth, Twites forces another ground ball over to Draper. It's another 6-3 ground out. 3 ground outs in a 1-2-3 inning for Kai Twites in the fourth. Seattle Studs still in front by 4 on the DubSea Fish Sticks through the 4th inning here in Tacoma.
Yeah, and Draper has just been so clean and efficient at short in this game and this week for this team. He just looks so natural at that position. Again, former UW Husky going over to join the Portland Pilots next season. So great late addition for this team, and another great late addition was Kai Twites, and Twites really efficient on the mound there in the bottom of the 4th.
Max Schwayan back out there for the Studs. Puts a 1 runner on in the form of Alex Amata on a leadoff walk, and then a pop out of Ian Draper and a couple Ks on Kate Galen and Rylan Gillard in that 4th inning. 6-2, Studs leading the Fish Sticks. Angus Stringmo, Kyle Sweeney coming to you from Tacoma. And Kyle, this is the end of a pretty, how do I put this, a pretty draining stretch of this season for the Sticks. If we go back into the records here for the past few weeks, this is the 20th game in 23 days for this team, and finally tomorrow, 3 straight days off for this squad. It's been quite a while since they've been able to say that. To be exact, it's been about a month since they've gotten 3 straight days off here in the PIL, and this is a tough team to play after a stretch like that to end it off.
It really is, and that started with 9 straight games. So right off the bat, they're tired, and this is a team that they've had players go down, they've had players exit. They leave early to go back home, or they exit early to go to something like the MLB Combine, like Eli Hurst, and they've had to do a lot of late additions, and that's all happened in the last 3 weeks. This is just such a tough stretch. I mean, 20 games in 23 days, that is just not easy.
First pitch to Evan Hellner. Paints the corner down and in for strike 1. Hellner doing the catching duties today, 0 for 2, but did drive in a run in that 1st inning. Still 6-2 Studs as we enter the 5th here in Tacoma. Hellner chases down low for strike 2.
Hunter's been just such a great bat all summer, one of the guys that has stayed with the team throughout the entirety of it, and he's been taking a lot of good from this to go into his first year at New Mexico State.
Strikes out on 3 pitches to Max Schwayan to start the 5th. Schwayan fired up on the hill. That's his 3rd K in a row against the heart of the Fish Sticks order.
That'll bring up Bartholomew, who had a single his last time up, but Schwayan, after kind of a tough start on the mound, he couldn't get his control in check. As you said, 3 straight Ks now. He is off and running.
First pitch to Bartholomew inside for ball 1. 2 for 2 for Bartholomew today. Also drove in a run in that 1st inning. Extended his team lead and runs batted in. He's now brought 26 Fish Sticks home on the summer. And it's kind of some confounding variables here. Only an average of 228 coming into this game, but leads in homers, leads in runs batted in, almost had another hit down the 3rd base line, but it's just foul. Likely would have been extra bases towards the left field pole, 320 feet away from home.
It's been such a weird up and down roller coaster season for Braden Bartholomew, but one thing has stayed consistent is that he's been up in so many big moments and has been able to deliver in all of them.
Riley Sonoy on deck. He's the 3rd man due up for the Sticks here in the 5th as Bartholomew fouls off another. That one hit much weaker down the 3rd base line for strike 2. Schwayan looking for his 4th straight K. 2-2 to Bartholomew. Swung on and missed. Another K for Max Schwayan. All 4 have been swinging as well, so not even painting the corners too much. It's just fooling Fish Sticks bats.
Yeah, that was another great pitch. Low in the zone, an off-speed pitch that's so hard to put in the air, which is what Braden Bartholomew has been doing recently. And I think he just swung through that thinking about the same thing. And, man, 4 straight Ks. He has got everything working out right now. And now Sonoy is going to try to put an end to this with 2 down in the top of the 5th.
Remember, his outing started with a 5-pitch walk to Alex Hamada and falling behind 3-1 to Ian Draper. Since then, he Forced Draper to pop out and then 4 Ks after that. He's behind 2-0 on Riley Sonoy right here. Sonoy 0 for 1 with a walk and 1 pitch away from getting walked for the second time. It's 3-0.
This could be the spark that this team needs off of Chouet to try to stop that momentum he's got on the mound.
That is right down the pipe for strike 1. Sonoy wouldn't swing at that pitch if it was a beach ball.
A beach ball?
3-1 on the way, and that is painted. Wow, that is really nice from Max Schwan for strike 2. Sonoy couldn't do much with that. Payoff pitch on the way for Schwan. Sonoy line shot, but right at Tristan Ringrose over at second base. And another scoreless frame for Max Schwan. So quick top of the 5th. And the Studs out in front 6-2 on the Fish Sticks in the middle of the 5th on the Fish Sticks Network.
For over 15 years, As You Wish Electric has offered the comprehensive electrical solutions Seattle families trust. We are proud to announce that we can now also serve your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. As we grow, we are committed to delivering the same knowledgeable and friendly experience that earned our spot as the region's top-rated electrical company. Contact As You Wish Electric Plumbing, Heating, and Air today to learn more.
Once upon a home, in a Seattle bungalow, the Huffs searched on Thumbtack to find their next pro. Now the job is all done and the table is set. The hot dogs taste better on their fancy new deck. Start your home story on Thumbtack.
Beckett Turnbow moves to the mound. He started this game at third base, and now Noah Kung will be playing at third. Turnbow replaces Kai Twice heading into the bottom of the 5th, where the Seattle Cheney Studs lead the DubSea Fish Sticks 6-2 here in Tacoma. Angus Trengmo and Kyle Sweeney. Spain just had a big-time goal in the World Cup final, but the Fish Sticks are going to need quite a few goals to get back in this game, and that starts with Beckett Turnbow having some good work on the mound.
Yeah, this will be his 9th appearance for Turnbow. After hitting a home run in yesterday's game, he's on the mound today. Has 14 innings of work. We've talked about he had really bad control issues in his first couple of appearances on the season, but has really dialed that in. He has 14 walks in those 14 innings, but 20 strikeouts. Really high strikeout guy because he boasts such a fast or speedy fastball. As you say, fast fastball is not really the best way to say that, but it's low 90s. It's touching about 92 miles an hour, and when he reins it into the zone, it is so tough to hit for opposing batters. And we saw him just not able to find the zone to start this summer, but over the past couple of weeks and really during this long stretch of 20 games in 23 days to start July, that's when Turnbow started to turn things around.
The other defensive changes on the field. Noah Kung replaces Turnbow over at third base, and then Riley Sonoy has moved into left. Cade Galen is out of the game. Noah Benedict is now in right field, where he finds himself basically every time he comes into the game out in right. Gage Thompson, this is the 3rd time he's led off an inning in the 5-hole today. Led off the 2nd with a walk, led off the 3rd with a strikeout looking, and now leads off the bottom of the 5th with the Studs out in front by 4. Turnbow misses for ball 1 on his first pitch.
First pitch strikes are huge for Turnbow to keep his confidence up and lower the walks. Obviously, huge strikeout guy, 20 and 14 innings. It's so hard to hit that fastball when it's in the zone, and if he's able to locate it like he has been over his last 2 or 3 appearances, success will come.
Thompson, just like basically everyone Turnbow has faced this year, is late to the fastball in the 1-0, and he fouls it back for strike 1. That Turnbow fastball runs up for ball 2, backs Thompson off the plate. Gage Thompson, Jackson Copeland, and Tristan Ringrose due up again for the 3rd time today. 2nd, 3rd, and 5th, all 5, 6, 7 due up for the Studs. 2-1, another fastball and another pop-up foul behind home plate.
And Thompson's not able to catch up to this 92-mile-an-hour fastball right now from Turnbow. And I think he's just got to go back to it and just trust it to put it in the zone and see if anyone on the Studs team can hit it.
after 5 Ks, or excuse me, 4 straight Ks for Max Schwayen over his 2 innings. Turnbow looking for his first right now.
That's another fastball that's fouled out of play. So Thompson's still not able to catch up to this roaring fastball from Turnbow.
He's staying alive, though. This will be the 6th pitch of the AB in a 2-2 count. First batter Becca Turnbow has faced today. Studs out in front, 6-2 on the Fish Sticks here in Tacoma. Again, last home game and last league game for the Studs this year, as Turnbow forces a swing and miss from Gage Thompson. Strikes out the first batter he sees today. That's kind of just a microcosm of how he's been pitching recently.
Yeah, now 21 Ks through 14 and a third, and when he locates that fastball, it's hard to beat, and it's hard to swing and hard to actually get good contact on. And after 3 foul balls on that pitch, he finally waves him on the 4th.
Off speed from Turnbow, first pitch. You're not going to see that a whole lot, but he fools Jackson Copeland for strike 1. His off speed, you barely ever see it with Beckett Turnbow, but it works so well just because that fastball is so good. Goes fastball right there. It's into right field. First play for Noah Benedict, and he had no chance at it. It drops into shallow right. Not the best contact ever for Jackson Copeland, a really powerful hitter, but it drops in for a base hit.
Yeah, that one was very fortunate for Copeland. And that's now the 2nd time that this Studs team has just blooped one into right field for a base hit. Just really fortunate at the plate. And Turnbow was kind of laughing. He knew he had Copeland there, but Copeland will be on first with a single with 1 gone.
That makes Copeland 2 for 3 on the day. Had an RBI double in the 2nd. Now Tristan Ringrose, who's 1 for 2, comes up. First pitch from Turnbow is down low on the fastball for ball 1. Ringrose playing at second base today. Caught a line out off the bat of Riley Sonoy to end the top half of the 5th. Now comes up in the bottom half. One-0 is in there on the inside half for strike 1.
Yeah, the inside half is an expanded part of the zone for the home plate umpire. We've seen a couple of batters rung up. That one looks like it was running inside right there on Ringrose, but is called strike. And Ringrose has had a lot of success today. He's been on base both times.
1-1, that runs in, and it catches a piece of Ringrose's jersey. Barely hit him, but it did catch a piece. And now runners on second and first, 1 down.
Now batting for the Studs, catcher number 18, Joel Fernandez.
The bottom of this order has done the most damage by far for the Studs. For the Studs part of the lineup, we talked so much about the top half with Kai Halstead and Bradley Carl, as they have deserved to. They've been 2 of the best players in the PIL this season, but the bottom half and going over to Ryan Sparrow, who is at the bottom of the lineup.
Riley Angelo will run for Tristan Ringrose over at first. So the first substitution of the day in the lineup for the Studs. Ringrose's day is done. He finishes 1 for 2 and reaching base 2 times in 3 tries. Now Joel Fernandez comes up. Turnbow checks on the runner. That's Copeland over at second base, then comes home with an off-speed that's down low for ball 1 to Fernandez. Fernandez 1 for 1 with a walk and a single on the day. And Hellner's going to go have a chat with his future teammate down in Las Cruces at New Mexico State, Beckett Turnbow.
Turnbow started out with a strikeout and then a hit by a pitch and a bloop single. So kind of a weird start for Turnbow. I think Hellner's trying to just rein him in a little bit.
Infield in for the Fish Sticks. Double play gets Turnbow out of the inning clean. 1-0 count to Fernandez. Runners on second and first for the Seattle Cheney Studs, leading the Fish Sticks 6-2 here in the bottom of the 5th. And fastball fouled back by Fernandez, strike 1.
Again, just cannot catch up to this fastball. The only hit of the game was a bloop single for Beckett Turnbow. And it was off that fastball and a complete jam of Copeland over at second base.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Turnbow comes home, and that is downstairs again for ball 2. He's missed down twice now to Fernandez.
These control issues that Turnbow had back in the beginning of the season are starting to seep in a little into this relief appearance. There's only one gone with 2 base runners on. Don't want to see him lose control.
2-1 breaking stuff that's fouled away from Fernandez. Haven't seen too many swings and misses from the Studs all day today. They've only been struck out 4 times here through the first half or so of this game, and only 2 of those were on swings. Two on the way from Turnbow to Fernandez. Fastball just up high for ball 3.
Boy, that one sure looked like it was in the zone. I looked away because I thought it was a strike to put on Game Changer, but nope.
Doing the Game Changer like a champion is Kyle Sweeney. Payoff pitch coming home from Turnbow. A walk would load the bases here in the 5th. 3-2 fastball. Did Fernandez go around? He did. So he'll have to head back to the dugout. Second strikeout swinging of the inning for Beckett Turnbow. Fernandez was taking off all his stuff heading to first, maybe trying to sell it, but it was pretty clear he crossed the plane right there.
Yeah, he was trying to disguise that one. It was high in the zone. It was the high cheese from Turnbow, but he definitely went around, and he was trying to disguise that. Almost
worth a try,
Oscar,
right?
Oscar-worthy performance there, but
he'll get the nomination for that one. Didn't finish the job, so maybe won't win the award, but a nomination for sure. A good effort.
But now this has been the toughest out of the game. Ryan Sparrow, who has 3 RBIs, a triple and a single in this one.
And he comes up with runners on base again. Runners on second and first, and 2 down for Sparrow, the 9-hole hitter in this lineup. He fouls back the first pitch for strike 1 from Turnbow. It's kind of been an on-brand outing for Beckett Turnbow. 2 Ks, and then a weak single, which is really the only hits he's given up have been weak contact this summer, and then a hit by pitch. And that's another hit by pitch. That catches a piece of Sparrow's forearm. So now the bases are loaded with 2 down.
Yeah, that one's going to hurt. Sparrow just took that in the arm, and again, elevated velocity with 92 miles an hour. That one's not going to feel good whatsoever as he gingerly walks over to first base. Now, reached base all 3 times he's been up.
I think when we both saw him in the 9 spot today, we were a little confused. Like, man, that is a tough guy to have in your 9-hole, and he has been as advertised. 2 for 2, a triple and a single, driven in 3, and now reaches base for the 3rd time today in as many tries. And now that brings up Dante Grant, the leadoff man, with the bases loaded and 2 down. And that's into left center. It's going to find the gap past Gullard. 2 runs will score easily. Gullard's throw comes into Draper. Grant's in with a double. Sparrow stays at third. 8-2 Studs in Tacoma.
Yeah, that is a great piece of hitting from Dante Grant. Hasn't seen Turnbow. He saw that Turnbow's been a little wild in his last couple of at-bats. Didn't matter to Dante Grant. He sees a fastball up and away a little bit at the top of the zone and takes it the opposite way. And you don't have to put much of a barrel on the ball to hit it hard against Beckett Turnbow's fastball, but Dante Grant got a barrel there. It goes over to left center field, and 2 more are across, and it's 8-2. It's all Studs so far.
2 more runners in scoring position for Bradley Carl. He also goes after the first pitch, but it's grounded straight at Braden Bartholomew. And Carl now 0 for 3 on the afternoon, but 2 more come home for the Studs. It's now 8-2 Seattle Cheney through 5 at the University of Puget Sound. And we've seen a few comebacks from this Fish Sticks team, including one against this Studs squad. But, man, this seems like a long road back, especially with how the Studs are hitting today.
It does, and right now the Fish Sticks they're going to have to manufacture any offense they can get because this Studs offense right now is churning and is completely reminiscent of what they've been doing on the diamond all season long. The Studs also know exactly what happened last time these 2 teams met back at the Friar. They choked a 7-0 lead in the bottom of the 7th inning, and The Fish Sticks have made some miraculous comebacks this season, including just last night. But right now, the Studs know better than anyone that even with a sizable lead against the Fish Sticks, that they're going to have to really go into the finish line to make sure that the Fish Sticks are dead in the water, per se. But right now, a little bit of a gift for the Fish Sticks on the mound.
Yeah, so if anyone on this Studs team, if you want to look into it further, if anyone on the Studs team knows what the Fish Sticks can do with a comeback, it's probably Robert Lutz. Lutz came into that game last Thursday to relieve Vaden Lawrence after Lawrence pitched so well. And after a scoreless sixth, it was just a blow-up seventh inning that let the Fish Sticks right back in the game. And the Sticks eventually won that game 9-8. That sixth inning from Lutz, it was a little shaky, but it was more of the same, kind of carrying over from Vaden Lawrence's great start. But the seventh inning, this Sticks lineup just saw him so well down the stretch.
Yeah, 5 earned runs in the 7th inning the last time these two teams played. So Lutz knows that better than anyone, but he's back out again here against the Fish Sticks with a 6-run lead. So we'll see what he can do if he can bounce back.
And also, how about the relief appearance for Max Schwayen today? Gives up a leadoff walk to Alex Hamada, but then after that, 6 up, 6 down, including 4 strikeouts for Schwayen.
Yeah, it was fantastic in relief for Dolan Wynn. And I know, and we all know, that Robert Lutz knows what happened the last time these two teams played. There's no doubt in my mind he's thinking about that right now. So an 8-2 lead, more time here in the 6th inning for the Sticks to come back. They came back from 4 runs in the 8th inning yesterday. So is there more magic left in the tank in the last game of this brutal stretch in early July?
Jake Daly, Beckett Turnbow, who's on the mound right now, and Alex Hamada do up 7-8-9 for the Sticks. And the first pitch to Daly. Daly was a statue in the box, and it goes by for ball 1. Again, the Fish Sticks know what happened to Robert Lutz the last time he pitched against the Sticks, and with Daly ahead 2-0, maybe you're thinking the Fish Sticks are not going to be as aggressive as we've seen them before this summer. Maybe just waiting for a strike at this point, and there's the first strike from Lutz on the outside third.
Lutz went 1 2/3 innings. He let up 5 earned runs and a walk in those 1 2/3. As that one's finally in there for a strike, but
that was nasty. It started right at Daly and broke in to the lower half. Counts 2-2 to Jake Daly, who hasn't swung yet. That time he swings and he fouls it back. We'll have to do the 2-2 again. Daly 0 for 1 on the day. Worked a walk back in the 3rd. And the 2-2, he's in another full count right here for the 2nd time in a row.
And that walk, he let a curveball that might have looked like it touched the inside half of the zone go for a walk. That was another fastball that was in that exact same spot, and he let it go.
Payoff pitch, and that runs inside on Daly. He's walked for the 2nd time today. Leadoff base runner for the Fish Sticks on Robert Lutz here in the top of the 6th.
Another great at-bat from Jake Daly, forcing the walk. Looked like Lutz had control of Daly in that at-bat, but a couple of foul balls, he's over at first base. And now with Beckett Turnbow up to the plate, who had a home run in yesterday's game, it looks like damage can start to leak in here on the Studs and see if the Fish Sticks can take advantage.
Turnbow watches the ball downstairs to start off his 3rd at-bat of the day. Walked in the 2nd, then struck out in the 3rd in a bases-loaded 2-out situation. And Lutz maybe got a gift right there. That was a fastball that looked outside, might have been low as well, but it's strike 1.
It's interesting also that the Studs pulled Schwayen after just 33 pitches. And again, 4 straight strikeouts. He allowed just 1 walk and shut down work. He's part of the reason that the Fish Sticks have not been able to score anything since the 1st inning. We're now here in the 6th. It's so a little interesting that they didn't let Schwayen go at least 1 more inning in relief.
1-1 was in there, so counts 1-2 to Turnbow. Swings and misses. He's struck out swinging for the 2nd time today. 1 down in the 6th for the Sticks.
Alex Hamada.
Alex Hamada now up. He worked a walk last time up against Schwayan. He was the only guy to reach base against Max Schwayan today in his 2 innings. That's down and in for ball 1.
So I'd like to give props to my broadcast partner here, Angus Trengmo. Did just receive word that World Cup just went final. And we asked him, or I asked him this week, what was your prediction? And he said 1-0 Spain. And that is the final. So ball knowledge, infinite ball knowledge there from Angus Trengmo. It was not 3-2 Argentina like I thought it would be.
Clap it up for me, everybody.
Yeah.
Hamada swings and misses at the 1-1 offering. Counts 1-2. Sounds like it was a slow one the whole way through in the final.
Yeah. Yeah, it was looked like a bit of a snoozer.
1-2 coming to Hamada, and that breaks in through the back door for strike 3. Hamada sat down looking. Second K of the 6th for Robert Lutz.
Now batting number
Lineup card turns over to Draper.
Draper's had a great day in the field and hasn't had as much success at the plate, but again, a 2-run shot in the bottom of the 8th inning that got everything going in that comeback victory. Can he maybe spark something here in the 6th for the Sticks?
Nice pitch and a nice frame and a couple oohs here at the University of Puget Sound, as that's called strike 1 to Ian Draper. Draper 0 for 3, did reach base on an error by Tristan Ringrose. And that runs in. Did it catch a piece of him? I don't think it did. It'll be ball 1.
Zeros across the scoreboard since 2 runs in the top of the 1st for the Fish Sticks.
It's down low to Draper for ball 2. He's ahead 2-1 on Robert Lutz. Jake Daly still on first base after a leadoff walk, his 2nd of the day. Started the top of the 6th inning. 2-1 coming to Draper. Fastball that runs in, and Draper's got to back off. It's ball 3.
Yeah, that almost hit him in the face on that fastball from Lutz.
Three balls, 1 strike. Lutz comes home, and Draper rips it, but it's foul down the left field line. Boy, he loves that pull side.
Yeah, he fouled out on that almost exact same pitch in a 3-1 count his last at-bat, and it looked like that one was going to run in for ball 4 once again. So another swing there on an inside pitch.
2-2 on the way. Lutz. That's ripped by Draper, and it stays fair down the left field line. Daly churning around third. Now the ball is lost by Bradley Carl out in the chain link, and Daly scores on an RBI double from Ian Draper. So the Fish Sticks finally pull one back here in the 6th. 8-3 the score.
Yeah, that was an off speed that just curled right over the heart of the zone. And after a couple straight fastballs from Robert Lutz down to Ian Draper, Draper was just so patient. He was still a little ahead of that off speed, which is considerably lower velocity than his fastball, but just patient enough and ripped it right over the third baseman's head and Jeremiah Crane, and it just touched that white chalk over there in left field. And Daly had a great jump there. Of course, with 2 outs, you got to be thinking just on any contact you're running, and he did there and was able to play to run.
So Noah Kung now up. Kung replaced Turnbow at third base when Turnbow came in on the mound, and he's hitting in place of Cade Galen, who is subbed out for Noah Benedict, who's in right now. Kung dribbles the 0-1 over to short, and that's a nice play from Gage Thompson. We've come to expect nice plays in the field from number 7 for the Studs, but the Fish Sticks finally get one back. They still have a long road back into this game. It's 8-3 Studs in the middle of the 6th.
You ever wonder how Crispy gets to the fryer for games? He uses King County Metro's Rapid Ride H-Line. King County Metro, the official commute of your DubSea Fish Sticks.
Wendy's went back to the kitchen to give our famous spicy chicken sandwich a total upgrade. More crunch, more flavor, with heat that just hits. Is this our best spicy chicken ever? Looks like a yes to me. Spicy chicken just got better at Wendy's.
They always say, think happy thoughts. It's easy when you're a Wendy's cookie dough frosty fusion. I'm an instant dopamine hit. Get it? Dope-amine? Like cookie dough. I said like cookie dough! Happiness is a cookie dough frosty fusion at Wendy's.
Studs out in front 8-3 on the Fish Sticks as we head into the bottom of the 6th inning on the Fish Sticks Network. Angus Strangmo, Kyle Sweeney joining you from the University of Puget Sound. And here at Lager Ballpark, Beckett Turnbow is back out for a second inning on the mound after coming up to the plate in the top half of the 6th.
Yeah, through that first inning, saw a little bit of control issues. 21 total pitches, 13 of which were strikes, but did let up a couple of free base runners on 2 hit by pitches. Did strike out 2, so kind of the Beckett Turnbow experience we've come to learn this summer at the mound. A little bit of control issues, but when it's in the zone, it's high strikeout rate, but did let up a run, or 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Fish Sticks were able to plate 1 in the top half of the inning with the double by Ian Draper down the left field line that scored Jake Daly, but it's still an uphill battle. They're down 8-3 here in the bottom of the 6th.
First pitch of the 6th from Turnbow is in there for strike 1 to Jeremiah Crane. Crane 1 for 3 on the afternoon with a base hit back in the 2nd that scored Dante Grant. 0-1 is down in the turf for ball 1.
Good first pitch strike by Turnbow. Again, no one has been able to catch up to this fastball except for that double by Grant that you just mentioned.
1 ball, 1 strike. Turnbow comes home. Fastball just blown by Jeremiah Crane for strike 2. That's what that velo does with Beckett Turnbow. We've seen a lot of late swings, and that one way too late. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Studs out in front, 8-3 on the Fish Sticks here in the bottom of the 6th. Another fastball from Turnbow. Crane almost offered at the high cheese, but it's ball 2.
I've seen a couple of strikeouts on swings up in the strike zone on that fastball from Turnbow.
Some action in the Fish Sticks pen right now. 2-2 from Turnbow is down and out. Full count now to Jeremiah Crane. It's Crane, Halstead, Thompson, 3-4-5 due up for the Studs. Surprisingly, Kai Halstead, still the only guy in the lineup for the Studs to not reach base today. I think he's maybe last or second last guy I would have picked for that honor. 3-2, Crane lifts it into right field. Noah Benedict, long run to his left. Really nice play for the first out of the inning made by Noah Benedict. He reaches up and snatches it out towards the pole.
Yeah, good at-bat to win there by Beckett Turnbow, who's behind multiple times in the count in that at-bat. But that was a really hard-hit ball over to Noah Benedict, and Benedict showing off the speed over there. The ball was tailing hard towards the right field line, and it was hit deep. So nicely done by Noah Benedict, who came in as a late addition in this game to replace Riley Sonoy over at right field, who Sonoy is now over and left.
Halstead watches ball 1 go by. He's 0 for 3 on the day, and I just mentioned still the only guy in the Studs lineup to not get on base. If the announcer's jinx is true, he should get on base here. I have set him up perfectly to make me sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, as the 1-0 catches the zone for strike 1.
Just a really good located pitch on that fastball from Turnbow to hit the outside edge of the zone.
One coming from Turnbow, and that is down in the turf once again for ball 2. I think we've seen that off-speed stuff from Turnbow a little bit more than usual today.
We have. He's trying to mix up the pitch count or the pitch sequencing a little bit because he's thrown so many fastballs to the Studs, especially back in the first inning.
Two balls, 1 strike coming to Kai Halstead. Turnbow goes with the heater, and it's outside for ball 3. And Halstead 1 pitch away from, what do you know, getting on base. Just had to say something, didn't I? Flew out to Sonoy, who was in right field, now in left field. That was back in the first. Then struck out swinging in the second and grounded out to Draper in the fourth. 3-1. Right back at Draper. Second straight grounder to him from Halstead. And another 6-3 ground out for Kai Halstead. He's 0 for 4 on the day, and Turnbow's through 2 clean here in the sixth.
It just speaks volumes to the Studs. So now Bradley Carl and Kai Halstead, two of the best bats in the entire PIL, are 0 for 7 in today's matchup, and yet it's an 8-3 lead for the Studs. That just proves how tough of a team they've been to beat in the PIL this season. They're just a couple of games away from clinching the division.
Gage Thompson watches one inside for ball 1. That one just slipped out of the hand of Turnbow. And even when it slips out of his hand, it's still moving pretty fast out of his hand.
He's already hit 2 batters today.
Both of those came in the 5th inning, and that ended up turning into a 2-run frame for the Studs. As that pitch, maybe a gift, but just a clinical frame from Evan Hellner behind the plate for strike 1. Back at Turnbow looking for a 1-2-3 inning here in the 6th, and the 1-1 misses inside to Gage Thompson for ball 2. Thompson 0 for 2 with a couple Ks, worked a walk in the 2nd inning, ended up coming around to score the first run of the game for the Studs. Since then, they have paraded around the bases and currently lead 8-3 over the Fish Sticks here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Two 2-1 comes from Turnbow. Fastball, painted, outside third, strike 2.
Again, just a great fastball from Mega Turnbow. He's been showing off all season long, but finally a run in the top half of the inning for the Sticks. They plated 2 in the top of the first, and you thought, oh my gosh, they're going to continue that momentum they had from last night over, but 5 straight scoreless innings after that. So Turnbow trying to keep the Studs in check and give the Sticks a chance, and he does right there, called strike 3 on Gage Thompson.
Beckett Turnbow goes 1-2-3 in the 6th inning against the heart of the Studs order. Really nice looks for Turnbow there in the 6th, but the Studs still out in front by a pretty wide margin. 8-3, they lead the Fish Sticks through 6 in Tacoma. Angus Trengmo, Kyle Sweeney here in Tacoma on just a wonderful day. Not a cloud in the sky, at least from our viewpoint here in the press box at UPS. And as the day is done for Robert Lutz, he only gets 1 inning and gives up a run. And George Gatsonaris will come in for the Studs. I mean, we already talked about it a little bit, but we're feeling it a little bit. I can't even imagine what like an everyday guy in the lineup is feeling like, but it has been a draining stretch of baseball for the Fish Sticks.
And this week, too, I mean, 3 straight days of road trips up to Everett on Monday and then out to Port Angeles and back on Tuesday and then Bellingham the next day. And then here today, coming south to Tacoma, especially with all that adrenaline after last night's win, getting up early and heading down here to play at the beautiful University of Puget Sound. And right now, I think the fatigue is setting in a little bit. They just haven't been able to get any spark, really, on the offensive end to try to hold up against this Studs offense right now. So, again, 3 straight days off after this game, which will be much needed for everyone involved. And then back to the Friar going into next weekend. And there's only 1 more road game for the Fish Sticks after this, and that's got to be a welcome sight for them, especially after the atmosphere that they saw yesterday at Dick's Drive-In Night. But that'll be next Wednesday against the Everett Merchants.
Rylan Gullard, Evan Hellner, Braden Bartholomew, 3-4-5, due up for the Fish Sticks in the 7th, and they'll face George Gatsonaris. So Gatsonaris, in the last meeting between these two teams, only threw a third of the inning. It was a cleanup crew for Robert Lutz in that big 6-run 7th inning where the Fish Sticks got back in the game. And Gatsonaris gave up 2 hits and an earned run, so he did not have his best stuff either at the Friar last Thursday.
Now pitching against the heart of this lineup, 3-4-5, and what's been the toughest out in the last 2 days, and Ryland Gullard to lead things off. The 7th inning has been the magical one for the Sticks. They scored 7 in the bottom of the 7th just a week and a half ago against this Studs team to make that roaring comeback. So the time is now.
You could also make an argument that the 8th inning has treated them well. 3 runs in that 8th inning against the Studs, then 2 more against the Blackfins the next day, and then in Everett they scored 4 runs to erase a 4-run Merchants lead as Gullard goes into center field, and that'll be routine out there for Dante Grant. So Gullard now 1 for 4 in the day, a base hit in the early stages all the way back in the 1st inning, but he has gone cold, as has this entire Fish Sticks lineup since that big 1st inning.
He really has, and Robert Lutz, who really, really struggled in that game a week and a half ago at the Friar, only gets a pretty short leash, which is, I think, what we both expected. And now Gatsonaris, who has faced this lineup more than once, will get a hack against Gullard and now Evan Hellner. Again, enter this game as 2 of the top averages on the team.
Hellner 0 for 3 today. He's followed by Braden Bartholomew, who's had a great day, 2 for 3, drove in a run. Hellner also has an RBI on a ground out in the 1st. 0-1 to Hellner, swung on and missed. Hellner struck out on 3 pitches in the 5th last time up, quickly behind 0-2. George Gatsonaris looking for the 2nd straight quick out against a really talented hitter. First it was Gullard, now he's ahead on Hellner. And the 0-2 lifted into right center. It's going to find a gap out there, and Hellner's got extra bases on his mind. That's in the power alley, and Hellner cruises into second with a 1-out double. Another runner in scoring position for the Sticks.
Yeah, that's a great piece of hitting after way ahead on an off-speed in the last pitch against Gatsonaris. Gatsonaris kind of laughing and going to the catcher. I think that was a changeup from Gatsonaris. It dipped down late. Again, very reminiscent of the pitch before where Hellner was way out in front, and then Hellner was sitting on that off-speed pitch and hit it hard out to right field. And that's a big spark for this Fish Sticks offense. They need anything down 8-3 here in the top of the 7th.
So that brings up Fuego, Braden Bartholomew, 2 for 3 on the day, and drove in a run with a base hit in the 1st. Riley Sonoy on deck for the Sticks. First pitch comes to Bartholomew, and he goes after it. It's fouled off into close to the Fish Sticks bullpen for strike 1.
That off-speed from Gatsonaris is really strong. It's reminiscent of a sweeper, and it fooled Bartholomew on that. And on an 0-0 swing, you don't really see players lunge out to try to foul off pitches often. That's exactly what Braden Bartholomew did there.
0-1 comes to Braden Bartholomew. It started at his helmet and then breaks right in. All kinds of run right there, and it's strike 2. Second straight batter that Gatsonaris has gotten ahead 0-2 on. It was a 0-2 pitch that Hellner ripped into right center for a double. Finds himself on second right now. 0-2 comes to Bartholomew. He sat on it and just a little too early rips it foul. That, we just got the story of that ball from our friend here in the PA booth in Seattle. That hit a car really hard.
Wasn't ours. Thank goodness. The GMC stays alive. GMC has had its work taken out for him this week.
Second straight 0-2. Coming to Bartholomew, that runs in for ball 1. Bartholomew extended his team lead and runs batted in earlier in this game. He's up to 26 on the summer. Hit .303 with an OPS just short of 800 at Southeastern University, a really good NAIA down in Florida. As the 1-2, he pops it up foul, and he'll stay alive.
Again, Gatsonaris going to that off speed. And it starts just so inside on right-handed batters like Bartholomew and then really tails. It's got so much run. Almost reminiscent of Zach Hampson's slider. I've really used the word reminiscent a lot in this inning. Do you like to reminisce?
Somewhat. I mean, it depends on what it is. I can't say I've ever really thought into it too hard. It's Bartholomew. That's down the right field line into foul ground, and another foul ball with 2 strikes to Braden Bartholomew. We've seen this movie before with him. He fouled off 6 straight 2-strike offerings against Elevate Northwest earlier this summer. And on the 12th pitch of the at-bat, he launched a 3-run homer that really put that game on ice for the Fish Sticks. They ended up beating Elevate Northwest 12-3 in that game. They've got 3 more coming up against that same team to end the season a couple weekends from now. Another 1-2 coming from Gatsonaris to Bartholomew. Breaks in just high. That is a courageous take from Braden Bartholomew for ball 2. That upper part of the zone and then everything above it has kind of gone either way. It's almost been a coin flip up there today on those close pitches. That one is ball 2. Count evens to Bartholomew. Hellner still on second base. And a 2-2 fastball ripped into center field. Grant on the run. It gets down in front of him. Hellner coming around third. He's going to score. Oh, no, he comes back. A late change of pace from Evan Hellner over at third. He's back safely into third base. It looked like he was going to score with ease. Maybe blew a tire on the way through, but Braden Bartholomew, another base hit in this game. He's now 3 for 4. And Hellner still 90 feet away from scoring the 4th run of the game for the Sticks with only 1 down in the 7th.
Great at-bat, great piece of hitting from Bartholomew. Fouled off 4 in that at-bat and eventually lines a single into left center field. And I was a little shocked that Hellner stopped. I didn't exactly see what happened around third base because I was expecting him to come through and score. But Coach Mark Lynn had the go sign there on third. But now it's first and third with 1 gone.
First pitch to Riley Sonoy, missed outside for ball 1, and he goes after the 1-0 and fouls it towards your GMC terrain for strike 1. That's bad news.
I think he's doing all right. They're looking in the opposite direction. I actually don't have a name for my car, which is interesting because I usually feel like my family does that. But do you have a name for your car?
I had a name for my 2012 Subaru Forester that I drove in high school. It was DeWip.
DeWip, okay.
DAWIP. Don't know where it came from. Still don't. As that ball gets by, and Hellner breaks for home. We saw this yesterday against the Honkers, and he's done it again. Evan Hellner, the catcher, scores on a passed ball. It's now 8-4 Fish Sticks. Bartholomew advances to second as well. And just another late push from the Sticks to try and get back into a game after going down by a wide margin.
Yeah, that was a pass ball for Fernandez, and then it was a close play at the plate, and Gatsonaris came charging in. There was actually kind of a collision at home between the sliding Hellner and Gatsonaris, who tried to almost dive and apply the tag. So hopefully, or fortunately, both are okay.
Now Sonoy grounds one over to Riley Angelo, and he mishandles it. Sonoy in on an E4. Bartholomew now at third. Runners on the corners, 1 down. Jake Daly coming up.
Now batting number 32.
And the Fish Sticks, I mean, this is signs of life. Can they do it again? This would be insane.
And they capitalized yesterday on a couple of errors in the infield. One by the catcher that let in Evan Hellner, and then one by the second baseman. Eerie deja vu right now. And the signs of life are definitely there here in the 7th, but still an 8-4 deficit. Runners on first and third.
First pitch to Daly is upstairs for ball 1. Daly's been walked twice today and then came around to score. Just 1 inning go on a double from Ian Draper. Runners on the corners, 1 down. Tyler Eisenhut is in the on-deck circle for the Fish Sticks. He'll be replacing Beckett Turnbow. It's an indicator that Turnbow's day is done on the bump. 1-0 from Gatsonaris to Daly. Such a good take from Jake Daly once again, and that's ball 2.
He's been so disciplined at the plate, fouled off multiple pitches in both of his last couple at-bats that have resulted in walks. Walk right now would load the bases for Tyler Eisenhut, who has been hot at the dish.
2-0, Daly goes after a fastball on the upper part of the zone and fouls it off a long way down the first base line. Counts 2-1.
Pretty aggressive there on a 2-0 count for Daly. That one was definitely up in the zone and could have been ball 3.
8-4 Studs. This is the closest this game has been since the 5th inning. Sonoy breaks for a second. Pitch was down and out to Daly. Now that throw gets by Angelo. Bartholome's going to score. Sonoy is into third. 8-5 Fish Sticks. Sonoy is 90 feet away from scoring. The Fish Sticks are battling back into another game.
Boy, this is starting to get away from the Studs a little bit. That one, it looks like Bartholomew could have taken off on the throw from the catcher, but that gets past Angelo, and Sonoy gets over to third, and now it's 8-5.
Count is 3-1 to Daly, and he watches ball 4 inside. The third walk of the day for Jake Daly. Runners on the corners, 1 out again, and now Tyler Eisenhut is the tying run at the plate. The Fish Sticks, they almost thrive down 5-6 runs. It's insane.
Yeah, this is pretty unbelievable. Again, in the 7th inning. The 7th inning was the magical one a week and a half ago on Thursday. Gatsonaris' day is going to be done. So 2 runs already here in the top of the 7th. There have been multiple mistakes in the infield for the Studs in this one. It's an 8-5 game. The tying run does come to the plate with Tyler Eisenhut. First and third with 1 out. I mean, there's no way it's the same fairy tale again, right?
No, I mean, we talked to Rylan Gullard about it. We talked to Rodrigo Montano, Braden Bartholomew. We've all asked them the same question after these games. It's just like, how does this team do it? And we've seen it since the first practice. This is such a tight-knit group. And while they haven't had the greatest stretches, and they have been one of the unluckier baseball teams you'll ever see with injuries and other factors, they just find ways to get back into these games, and they're doing it again today. They were trailing 8-2 heading into the 6th inning, and then a run came home. It was 8-3. Now they've got 2 plated in the 7th. Runners on the corners, 1 out, and Tyler Eisenhut, who is hitting for Beckett Turnbow in the 8-hole, comes up as the tying run. The Fish Sticks struck first in this game. They led 2-0 through 1, and then 5 runs in the bottom of the 2nd inning for the Studs, and it was all Studs in the 2nd through the 5th innings of this game. But the Fish Sticks, they've always got a response, and they're starting to put one together today. George Gatsonaris has come out of the game.
Logan Ecke is going to replace him, another right-hander that the Fish Sticks lineup has seen before this season. So pretty high leverage now suddenly after it looked like the Fish Sticks were dead in the water. Once again, we've said this multiple times this season and multiple times this game. And after last night's thrilling come-from-behind victory against the Honkers in the 8th inning, 2 have come across here in the top of the 7th. And Tyler Eisenhut is pinch hitting with runners on 1st and 3rd with 1 out to try to inflict further damage.
Eisenhut from Linfield down in Oregon, one of the collection of Linfield guys on this team. Hitting 8th for Beckett Turnbow, who's coming out of this game after throwing 2 innings on the mound. Eisenhut hitting .255 on the year with an OPS of .705. He's driven in 9. First pitch he sees, and the first pitch of the day for Ecke is down and in for ball 1.
And Eisenhut has been up in this situation before. He had a 2-run double against the Studs a week and a half ago in the 7th inning. Part of a 3-for-3 performance for him, and that was a big one to get things going on the momentum side of things. He takes a look at a questionable strike call in the outside corner, but guy who's done it before against the Studs team is looking to do it again.
Eisenhut is the tying run at the plate right now. Riley Sonoy on 3rd, and Jake Daly on 1st. 1-1, that drops in for strike 2. That's a good-looking pitch from Logan Ecke.
Yeah, 12-6 curveball that dives into the top half of the zone. Eisenhut didn't love that call. It did dive in pretty late.
Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tyler Eisenhut. Runners on the corners and 1 down. Eisenhut swings. It is lined at the shortstop, and another nice play in the field from Gage Thompson. Eisenhut is retired. 2 down in the 7th for Alex Hamada.
Now batting number 16.
So
Alex
Eisenhut,
Kamada.
that was a great piece of hitting on the off-speed pitch that curled in late. He got a good charge on it, but right at Gage Thompson. Over at short, but something of note. We saw Noah Benedict come into right field about 3 innings ago, and he has not come into the lineup. And we have gone at least one time through the lineup and have not seen Noah Benedict.
It's an interesting loophole in the rules, I think, because Becca Turnbow went onto the mound and then stayed in the lineup. And we saw at this same ballpark, Hawthorne Moody had to take an at-bat because they wanted him to throw another inning. And we might see a similar situation today where a pitcher has got to throw, as Jake Daly is going to get pinch run for by Rodrigo Montano. Daly was the DH today, so no positional changes there. Montano will now be the DH. Montano, the Studs know him all too well. A 2-run single that gave the Sticks their first lead of the game in the bottom of the 8th last Thursday. First pitch to Amada, up the middle, read by Thompson. He'll go to first with it. And the Fish Sticks strand 2 in the 7th, but they pull 2 back. They're starting to fight back once again. It's 8-5 now in Tacoma. The Studs still with a 3-run lead and looking for more at the other side of the stretch.
For over 15 years, As You Wish Electric has offered the comprehensive electrical solutions Seattle families trust. We are proud to announce that we can now also serve your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. As we grow, we are committed to delivering the same knowledgeable and friendly experience that earned our spot as the region's top-rated electrical company. Contact As You Wish Electric Plumbing, Heating, and Air today to learn more.
Oh, Audrey, look over there.
Where? Oh, a whole herd of reindeer beers.
Not herds, Audrey. Rainier's come in 6-packs.
Oh.
Wake up, Harley.
Harley, look at the reindeers. Oh, they're just so fresh and friendly.
Once upon a home, in a Seattle bungalow, the Huffs searched on Thumbtack to find their next pro. Now the job is all done, and the table is set. The hot dogs taste better on their fancy new deck. Start your home story on Thumbtack.
Fish Sticks were down by as many as 6 runs in this game. They've battled back and made it a 3-run game. Here at the 7th inning stretch, it is 8-5 Studs leading the Fish Sticks heading into the bottom of the 7th. And Duncan Boss will come in for the Sticks. He started this summer with 9 scoreless innings. Through 2 in Bellingham, gave up 2, 1 in each inning of work against the Bells. Still a very good ERA of 1.64 on the summer. He struck out 12 in 11 innings, but also walked 9, so control issues have been lurking, but some great stuff from Duncan Boss already this summer, and he'll face the Studs lineup, not the first time he's faced the Studs this year. He came in to finish it out in the Fish Sticks 7-1 win here in Tacoma about a month ago. Jackson Copeland, Riley Angelo, and Joel Fernandez, 6, 7, 8, due up for the Studs. First pitch from Boss, fastball into center field. Gillard ranging to his left, and he's under it for out number 1. Duncan Boss only needs 1 pitch to retire Jackson Copeland for the first out of the 7th. Copeland came into that at-bat 2 for 3 as well, so he's been a tough out today. That's his second flyout to Gillard out in center field. That'll bring up Riley Angelo. First plate appearance of the day for Angelo. He replaced Tristan Ringrose on the bases after Ringrose was hit by a pitch in the 5th. Now Angelo shows bunt, pulls back. It's a strike for Duncan Boss. And Kyle Sweeney's long-awaited return to the booth has finally arrived.
I might have the weakest bladder in all of DubSea history.
0-1 in there from Boss. I mean, Duncan Boss, you didn't really get to share your thoughts as he's ahead 0-2 on Angelo, but he's had quite the summer on the mound.
He really has, and his first earned runs of the season came this week on Wednesday against the Bellingham Bells, a West Coast League opponent. So no earned runs in PIL play this season.
Strike 3 call. Duncan Boss sits down Riley Angelo on 3 pitches. I already said that, and you would have known that if you were in the booth. Just kidding.
I'm glad
it's all fun.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
That brings up Joel Fernandez behind the plate. It's only taken Duncan Boss 4 pitches to get 2 outs here in the 7th. And his first pitch, Fernandez, also finds the zone. So 5 pitches, 5 strikes for Duncan Boss.
Well, did you mention he goes to Seattle U?
I did not.
There we go. New one.
Good job, Kyle.
Thank you. That's why they pay me the big bucks.
0-1 coming to Fernandez, and that misses. First ball of the day for Boss. No longer a West Coast Conference matchup here between Boss and Fernandez, but at one time it was. Boss from Seattle U and Fernandez from Wazoo down in Pullman.
What an era. The end of an era.
1-1 is down low for ball 2. I mean, Washington State and Oregon State, it doesn't get unluckier than that. You're in such a good conference, especially for a bunch of different sports, baseball included, and all of a sudden you find yourself in the same conference as Pacific. Like overnight. Just a bummer.
It'd be a shame if any Pacific Tiger alumni were watching this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stockton? You ever been to Stockton,
I
California?
have never been to Stockton, California.
You
no.
really don't have to go there. You can keep it that way if you want.
Absolute stray for Stockton, California and the University of the Pacific. 1-2 from Boss, popped up by Fernandez into foul ground over the head of Hawthorne Moody in the Fish Sticks bullpen. Count still 2-2.
Maybe Hawthorne Moody will go back out to the batter's box. He's 1 for 1
I want to
this
see
season.
it at least one more time this summer. Just one of the best at-bats we've seen anyone put together this year. Another 1-2 from Boss, and that one slips out of the hand. That was a 2-2, I beg your pardon, so now the count's full.
Oof. Losing it.
I read the scoreboard and I was wrong. You know, we all make mistakes, Kyle.
Gonzaga versus Arizona State clash right now.
3-2 misses outside, and Duncan Boss gives up a free base to Joel Fernandez with 2 down in the 7th. I got to say, this booth has become very hostile all of a sudden.
It has a little bit.
First of all, we're going after Stockton, California, a place I've never been.
You really, 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 really do not have to go to Stockton, California. I promise you that.
That was at least 5 reallys, which must mean it is thunderously boring.
Yeah, it's it's not, out of every place you can go to in California, Stockton is not at the top of your priority list.
I've been to San Diego, where USD is. San Diego's incredible.
Yeah, San Diego is a fantastic place. San Francisco, great place. 2 places I've been to more than once in my life, and those are great. I highly recommend those to anyone, especially San Diego. I mean, if you're a coastal guy, and San Francisco, if you're a city guy. San Francisco is such a beautiful city.
To my knowledge, Stockton is not on the coast.
It is not. There are no beaches. There are absolutely no beaches in Stockton. San Francisco, I mean, the bay is just beautiful. I mean, you cannot beat it. And then the beaches in San Diego, incredible. Perfect.
Count is 2-0 to Ryan Spiro as Coach DeGallier heads out to have a chat with Duncan Boss. Boss, 2 quick outs on 4 pitches to start the 7th, but then walks Fernandez and is behind 2-0 on Spiro, who has been an impossible out today. He's 2 for 2 with a triple and a single. He's driven in 3 runs, also hit by a pitch back in the 5th.
Yeah, I'm honestly a little surprised and almost impressed in a way that Spiro's still in this game, because he took a 92-mile-an-hour fastball to his forearm his last time up. That hurts, and he's back out there.
I can just feel the nerves in my forearm tingling when you said that. It's not a part of the body that you can really guard when you're up at the plate either, and it just skips off the bone. That's a stinger for sure. But Spiro back out there, looking to build on what has been a really good day for him. He's ahead 2-0 on Boss. Fernandez at first, small lead, and 2-0 Something of a zone finder right there on the fastball for strike one from Duncan Boss. And like you said, that Bellingham outing, the first 2 runs he's given up all summer, outside of that, he has been flawless.
PIL has been pretty kind to Duncan Boss, but right now, with Sparrow up, this is a really important out.
2-1, it looks like he has it. That's grounded to Draper. They'll go to second. It's a 6-4 fielder's choice. And another scoreless inning in league play for Duncan Boss. The Fish Sticks hanging around in this game. It's 8-5 Studs as we head into the 8th. And the Sticks were down by as many as 6 runs after the 5th inning. The Studs led 8-2. And Logan Egge will come back out for the 8th inning. Egge, some really good work out of the pen in the first meeting of the season between these two squads at the Friar, when the Studs won 5-2, and he gets out of a jam where the tying run came to the plate twice in the 7th inning.
So 6 outs now for the Fish Sticks to work some black magic of some sort that they've been able to corral over the last couple of weeks, and that included in yesterday's game in that 4-run comeback. And right now, Egge did well in the last inning to contain that wildfire that could have arisen in the top of the 7th, but 8-5 deficit, it's obviously not insurmountable by any means because we've seen 8th inning magic so far.
So let's review. The Fish Sticks went into last Thursday's meeting with the Studs behind by 2, scored 3 runs, ended up winning that game 9-8.
In the 8th inning.
3 runs in the 8th inning, vaulted them to a win. And then the next day, they faced off with the Seattle Blackfins. Micah Bartle, 3-run triple in the top of the 8th inning that gave the Blackfins their first lead of the entire night. And then the Fish Sticks responded. 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th. They ended up winning that one 9-8 as well. And then on Monday in Everett, they didn't come out on top in this one, but no life in the first 7 innings of that game. They were behind 5-1 heading into the top of the 8th, scored 4 runs, ended up tying that game, but were walked off in the 9th, ended up losing 6-5 in just a whale of a game up in Everett. And then yesterday, went into the bottom of the 8th, down 6-2, plated 5 runs, ended up winning 7-6. So the 8th inning is upon us here in Tacoma. Fish Sticks down by 3. First pitch, Draper grounds it over to Thompson. Routine 6-3, and Draper is retired. That's Gage Thompson makes that play in his sleep, and there's 1 pitch, 1 out in the 8th.
That's a big one. Draper was 2 for 4, including an RBI double his last time up. But, yeah, you've said it. That's 4 games in the last week and a half, where in the 8th inning, the Fish Sticks have just worked absolute magic. So another opportunity here, but doing it twice against the Studs would be almost improbable.
First pitch to Kung in there for strike 1. Kung grounded out to Thompson over at short. His first time up back in the 6th inning. And he's behind 0-2 to Egge right here. Studs not playing around, bringing in Logan Egge right here.
Again, still no Noah Benedict in the lineup, even though he went in right field, as that's a swing and a miss from Noah Kung for strike 3. And his struggles on the day continue. But Noah Benedict went into the right field, I believe, in the 5th inning, and has not been in the lineup or in the batting order, and that's a significant portion because sorry, I got distracted by Connor Lee's comment in there, but Noah Benedict has been by far the hottest bat over the last week for this team, and not having him come into the lineup, that's a big blow for this Fish Sticks team, and that's a mistake.
0-1 to Gullard. That just drops home on the 12-6. That was a true 12-6. It started over the top of the plate and dropped right into the zone. He's ahead 0-2 on Gullard. Another 12-6. That's flown into center field towards Dante Grant. Grant turns his shoulders and makes the play. 7 pitches. 1-2-3 inning for Logan Egge. He has been so good against the Sticks this year. And the Studs stay in front by 3. It's 8-5 Seattle Cheney as we head into the bottom of the 8th inning.
You ever wonder how Crispy gets to the Friar for games? He uses King County Metro's Rapid Ride H-Line. King County Metro, the official commute of your DubSea Fish Sticks.
Once upon a home in the Issaquah Highlands, the Parkers used Thumbtack for a new kitchen island. Now the pizza is cooking and the kids are excited. Thank goodness for Thumbtack and all it provided. Start your home story on Thumbtack.
Studs looking for some insurance here in the bottom of the 8th. They lead the DubSea Fish Sticks 8-5 here on a Bluebird in Tacoma. And Jaden Mizuno will come into the game for the Fish Sticks.
Yeah, just one quick inning from Duncan Boss. I'm surprised he didn't come out here in this 8th to try to keep this game within striking distance in the top of the 9th inning for the Fish Sticks. But Mizuno had not his best outing in relief in his last game. So an opportunity here for him on his home turf. He was so good last year at the University of Puget Sound, had the best ERA on the entire pitching staff, and is looking to bounce back here in an area he's pretty familiar with.
Mizuno, the logger, replaces Duncan Boss, and Boss went 2 innings in Bellingham, so not the freshest arm in the bullpen, but another great inning for him. And now Jaden Mizuno will come up. Just hasn't been his best stuff as of late, and hopefully he can turn the tides. And he's got a tough task. It's the top of the lineup due up for the Studs, and that starts with Dante Grant, followed by Bradley Carl and Jeremiah Crane, 1, 2, 3.
Grant's 2 for 4 tonight after a 2 for 3 performance the last time these two teams played, so really been killing this Fish Sticks lineup.
Mizuno goes off speed, and it's in there for strike 1. Just rolls off the table into the zone. Grant 2 for 4 on the day with a double and a single. I said it earlier, but he's good for a hit or two basically every time he takes the field.
He is, and there's a reason he spent time in the Padres organization a couple of years back.
Mizuno comes home. It's another breaking pitch, and it's strike 3. Just a great start for Jaden Mizuno. He sits down Grant on 3 pitches, and that'll bring up Bradley Carl.
That's as good of a start as you can get against such a dangerous hitter in Dante Grant, but job not done.
By no means done, as that brings up Bradley Carl. You know he's looking for a hit this time up as well, more than usual. He's 0 for 3 on the day. He was hit by a pitch all the way back in the first inning. And Mizuno starts him off with a strike.
4 straight strikes now for Mizuno.
If this is a ball, this is totally your fight, your fault, Kyle. 0-1. It is grounded over to Bartholomew in fair territory, so we won't have to blame Kyle for anything. That's out number 2. It's only taken 5 pitches for Jaden Mizuno against Dante Grant and Bradley Carl, of all people.
Now that brings up Jeremiah Crane. And this top half of the lineup just has not done the damage for the Studs today. That is now 0 for 4 from Bradley Carl and 0 for 4 for Kai Halstead, who's on deck. Those have been the 2 most dangerous hitters all year for the Studs, and combined 0 for 8, but yet the Studs are up 8-5. So 2 gone, and Jaden Mizuno trying to send the Fish Sticks into the top of the 9th with just 3 runs to make up.
Looks like he'll do just that. That's a ground ball to Ian Draper. All it takes is 7 pitches for Jaden Mizuno. The Fish Sticks on their last legs. It's 8-5 Studs heading into the 9th inning in Tacoma. Hellner, Bartholomew, Sonoy do it for the Fish Sticks after the break.
For over 15 years, As You Wish Electric has offered the comprehensive electrical solutions Seattle families trust. We are proud to announce that we can now also serve your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. As we grow, we are committed to delivering the same knowledgeable and friendly experience that earned our spot as the region's top-rated electrical company. Contact As You Wish Electric Plumbing, Heating, and Air today to learn more.
Oh, Audrey, look over there.
Where? Oh, a whole herd of reindeer bears.
Not herds, Audrey. Reindeers come in 6-packs.
Oh,
Wake up, Harley.
Harley, look at the reindeers. Oh, they're just so fresh and friendly.
Dirty Diana, great Michael Jackson song as PJ Moritz comes out on the mound and looking close the Fish Sticks out here in Tacoma and lift the Seattle Cheney Studs to a 16-4 record in PIL play this year. Again, this is their last league game of the summer before they leave for Wichita, home of the Wichita State Shockers men's basketball team, one of the greatest basketball teams and sports teams in our great nation. But PJ Moritz comes in, and Moritz gave up 3 runs the last time he faced the Fish Sticks, and it was in that 8th inning where Rodrigo Montano delivered one of the biggest hits of the summer by far and gave the Fish Sticks their first lead of the game. Evan Hellner, Braden Bartholomew, Riley Sonoy do up for the Fish Sticks, and then if any of them reach base, it is Rodrigo Montano after that in the 7 hole in this lineup.
Moritz wasn't able to shut the door last time. Another opportunity here today.
Starts off Hellner with some absolute beauty with a fastball down and out in the corner, strike 1. I don't think we saw a pitch that good from him in his entire outing at the Friar last week. And, ooh.
Wow.
Moritz gets a gift right there. That's 0-2.
Yeah.
Wow.
Moritz has a kind of a funky sidearm delivery. It's not as sidearm as Nathan Burke, but he struggled really badly with control issues in the 8th inning. Last game, no control issues there as he sits down Hellner on 3 pitches.
Waves to him as he leaves the box as well. All it takes is 3 pitches to sit down Hellner. Hellner 1 for 5 on the day, assuming he doesn't come back up. That is not a characteristic day for Hellner at all. Did have a double in this game as well in the 7th and came around to score. That'll bring up Braden Bartholomew, who's been the best hitter for the Sticks today. He's 3 for 4 with a run driven in. And he watches ball 1.
So Moritz trying to bring more confidence into this outing, again, after not being able to keep the Fish Sticks comeback attempt at bay. And he allowed those 2 earned runs to Rodrigo Montano, who's in the hole right now. So it's going to be a big bounce-back opportunity for PJ Moritz, who, again, knows exactly what happened the last time these 2 teams played just about a week and a half ago.
1-1 to Fuego, and that's outside, almost identical to the pitch that was called strike 2 to Evan Hellner, but it's called ball 2 to Bartholomew. Again, 3 for 4 with 3 singles. Also crossed home in the 7th. 2-1 coming from Moritz, and that's outside. Really good take from Bartholomew for ball 3.
Well, obviously, I'm going to state the obvious, but you need base runners down 3. So Bartholomew should be taking this pitch with no hesitation.
3-1, and he does, and it breaks back into the heart of the zone for strike 2. That's the other side of that is that's probably the best pitch Braden Bartholomew is going to see in this at-bat. But he leaves it be, and now the count's full. Moritz comes home, and it's inside, so Braden Bartholomew, a 1-out walk. He's on base. That'll bring up Riley Sonoy. And the Fish Sticks have their first base runner here in the 9th.
Now batting number 6, Riley.
Great at-bat from Braden Bartholomew. Again, led off on, it looks like a changeup on a 3-1 count. He didn't love the pitch low in the zone, and it pays off with that walk from Moritz, who walked a couple of batters last time he played against this Fish Sticks team.
8-5 Studs lead as Riley Sonoy watches a ball down to start his 5th plate appearance of the day. Sonoy 0 for 3 with a walk back in the 3rd. Sticks chasing 3 runs. They only have 2 outs to do it with Bartholomew on first. And Sonoy's ahead 2-0 on Moritz.
Yeah, taking these pitches until he sees a strike is what I would do if I was Riley Sonoy, especially after that walk to Bartholomew.
Counts 2-0 to Sonoy. And no interest in swinging, and that is an outside fastball that's called strike 1. That was a frustrating one if you're Sonoy. It was well placed for Moritz, but I think we've seen that for a ball already today. Not a big lead for Bartholomew. Can't expect him to go right here. 2-1 on the way to Sonoy. He is ahead of it for strike 2.
Yeah, that ball on 2-0, or that strike call on 2-0 was definitely outside the zone. So a little bit of gift for Sonoy. Now it's 2-2, and he was swinging in front of that off speed.
Counts even. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 gone in the ninth, and Sonoy grounds it foul. He'll stay alive. It's right at Garrett DeGallier, first base coach for the Sticks. Sonoy worked a walk in the third. It would be his second walk of the game, and if you're Riley Sonoy, you're just looking for any way to get on base right now with the Sticks down to their final 2 outs. 2-2. He pops it up. That might stay in play. It does, and it's overrun over at third by Jeremiah Crane. A lease on life for Riley Sonoy at the plate here in the ninth.
Yeah, Crane had to sprint right at the Studs dugout down the left or down the third base line and just overran it. And I think he was having some sun issues. He's looking directly into the sun on that one, and kind of a comical play a little bit. He was laughing it up at the Studs bench afterwards.
Another 2-2 coming to Riley Sonoy. Bartholomew still on first. Sonoy grounds it hard. Nice play over there by Angelo. Oh, man. If he doesn't make that play, the tying run comes to the plate, but a full extension dive keeps it in the infield and retires Sonoy at first. Wow. Second out of the ninth. Man, that was impressive.
That would have been the second straight base runner, and after a deep count against Sonoy, that would have been heartbreaking for Moritz at the mound as well, but that was hit hard on the ground, and Angelo over at second base, who has made a mistake already in today's game, with the full extension dive to his left to keep that one in front of him and throw over to first to retire Sonoy. So instead of first and second with 1 gone, Rodrigo Montano, who was the hero in the game a week and a half ago, will have another crack at PJ Moritz.
Montano, a base hit up the middle. Last time he faced Moritz, that brought home 2 and gave the Fish Sticks a 9-8 lead. And right now he's the last chance for the Sticks, down 8-5 here in the ninth. First pitch called strike. Similar spot to where Sonoy was called strike. And if you're Moritz, you might as well just live there.
Yeah, it's the outside part of the zone that's been called consistently both ways, but is widened for sure.
0-1 coming. Montano lets it go down low for ball 1. If Montano does reach base, Vaughn Lowe is on deck in place of Tyler Eisenhut. It would be the first plate appearance of the day for Lowe.
It actually looks like Peyton Barsotti wearing Vaughn Lowe's jersey.
Wow. Only in the PIL as Montano watches that inside for ball 2. I wish whoever that is would turn around.
It is definitely Barsotti, and he's wearing Vaughn Lowe's jersey,
wow.
So I could see how that could be mistaken.
Yeah, I just glanced over there, saw 17, it's just like, oh, it's Vaughn Lowe.
Only in the PIL.
2-1 coming to Montano, and doesn't offer at it. No real good look on the appeal right there with the field ump standing right in front of second base, and maybe Montano got away with one right there. It's 3 balls and 1 strike to Rodrigo.
Barsotti is a big power guy on deck, too, and he would be the game-tying run. We've already seen him deliver a home run in a tight spot this season.
3-1 coming. Montano offers at it. Base hit up the middle again off Moritz. That's going to score Bartholomew, and this is a 2-run game. Rodrigo Montano does it again against PJ Moritz, and the Fish Sticks will not go away. Now that brings up Peyton Barsotti, wearing number 17 today for no apparent reason. He's been wearing 37 all year, and one swing of the bat from Barsotti can tie this game.
What an at-bat from Montano to score Bartholomew, bring this within 2, and have a power guy like Barsotti up to the dish.
Barsotti fouls off the first pitch he sees. He is the tying run. Montano on first. He doesn't really matter right now. No reason to get a big lead or anything like that. Alex Hamada still in the on-deck circle for the Sticks. And that one hits Barsotti. That'll bring up Alex Hamada. The tying run is aboard for the Sticks. We've seen a walk-off from Alex Hamada this year. He has delivered in clutch moments when he's needed to. And this is a big spot for him. The tying run is on first base. They'll keep Aiden Partisati on the bases, so not a speed demon by any means over on first for the Fish Sticks.
Boy, this just got real interesting with Hamada up and Ian Draper, who's been crushing the baseball this week, on deck.
Hamada watches it. Strike one. Man, that is the exact same pitch that was called on Sonoy and Montano. Moritz finds that spot once again for strike one. Tough break for Hamada right there. He's behind 0-1. 8-6. This is the closest the Fish Sticks have been since the second inning. Tying run is on first. Montano on second, Barsati on first. 0-1. Hamada fouls it off. Fish Sticks down to their last strike.
It is a right-on-left matchup for Alex Hamada, but looking for his first hit today, and he's the go-ahead run at the plate. Barsati the game-tying run at first, and Montano at second base. 2 gone here in the top of the 9th. It's an 8-6 deficit for the Six.
0-2 coming to Hamada with 2 down in the 9th. That's way outside ball 1. You can hear Jake Rolling say, yes, good take.
Rolling hasn't been in the lineup, but so active in the dugout.
Montano on second, Barsati on first, Hamada at the plate. Counts 1-2. Studs lead by 2. 2 down in the top of the 9th. 1-2 on the way. Hamada swings and misses, and the Studs come out on top and survive.
And that'll do it for today's
Fish Sticks almost put together another comeback.
8-6.
But the Studs end up coming out on top 8-6 over the Fish Sticks. And that clinches it for the Seattle Studs. A bit of jawing between the two sides as they head out to the dugouts. But that is, what a fight that is from the Fish Sticks. But the Studs survive, and they improve to 16-4 in PIL play, and that all but seals it for the Studs.
Yeah, these two sides were jawing throughout the game. You saw multiple times where Studs pitchers were talking over to the dugout for the Fish Sticks, but just a tough loss. It was another comeback attempt that just came up short for the Fish Sticks, but that is the end of a grueling trip and a grueling week, really. 4 road games on the week that followed 2 home games. So the stretch is over here in July. Now 3 straight off days for the Fish Sticks, who will have to regroup before another homestand this weekend.
8-6, the Seattle Studs take down the DubSea Fish Sticks and clinch the 2026 PIL title. This team has been a buzzsaw all summer. Congratulations to the Seattle Cheney Studs. And the Fish Sticks will be back in action on Thursday. They finally get 3 days off. Then they're back at home against the Redmond Dudes on $3 Thursday at the Friar. For Kyle Sweeney, to my right, I'm Angus Trengmo. Fish Sticks try and fight back in this game, but they fall just short. They lose by 2. The Studs come out on top 8-6 here in Tacoma. Have a great night and go Sticks.